Welcome to Hurrdat Sports Live.
He's going to jack one to left, heading for the seats. See you later. First inning, and the Nats have a deuce. A walk and a two-out blast. Number 15 for Josh.
And a high fly ball deep down the right field line toward the pole. Towering shot. It is gone. Two-run blast for Kyle Schwarber. And the Phillies lead it 4-1. His 42nd home run. It's his 13th here at this ballpark.
You know the rest of the way, but
Here goes Yelich. Right center. It's deep. It is gone. Christian Yelich goes deep. He's got his number 22. Swinging a high fly ball left field. That ball is deep. Back it goes. And that ball is gone. How about Alex Bregman? First at bat, returning to Houston. And he hits that one into the Crawford boxes.
is that what it's all about right there?
Drilled deep to right field. Fair ball, it's gone. It is gone. A bullet home run into the second deck as the Yankees go back-to-back to take a 3-0 lead.
Good morning. Welcome into Hurrdat Sports Live, presented by Centris Federal Credit Union. That's Austin Jacobsen. I'm Ravi Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill. DB will be joining us in the 8 o'clock hour. Got a little high school football practice to get to. What's up, Austin? How are you doing?
I'm a bit out of it, I'll be honest. I think you might be a bit more out of it than I am, which sucks because I want to hold the martyr baton today, but that's fine.
What is
we'll be
the,
good.
what's the why do you have the martyr baton today?
I'll be honest, I've been fighting a cold, first off. There's that.
I can hear that.
Yeah. That's been carrying on. Every time we have an outdoor event
Dude, I'm the same way.
in which I have to be like on camera, CWS, I get terrible cold.
You sounded terrible.
I was
CWS.
real bad.
Like day 2, I was like, oh my God.
Remember when I walked up and Kenny just goes, oh no.
I was like, you're not going to make it, brother.
That hurt. That one hurt. Here's the other part too. I did myself no favors each time.
Yeah.
Saturday night of the opening weekend of CWS,
You were out pretty late.
I was out pretty late.
You were out pretty late.
I was, doing nefarious activities with my friends. And then
It's fun to do bad things.
Friday night of the Pinnacle Bank Championship. Uh-oh. Oh, no. The man of the hour.
So, we'll get to him.
Yeah, the Friday night of the Pinnacle Bank Championship, you and I both, I think we both did some nefarious activity
we
there.
got after a little bit.
Yeah.
Oof. It was fun. It was a good time. And, no, it was, I think it was a quality appearance.
Saturday, you were hurting a little bit.
Yeah, I
Because
was.
you were still trying to rally, which I appreciated.
Yeah.
But you were slowly sipping them. You were like,
Oh, I didn't drink anything on Saturday.
did you not? Okay, I
have
thought you had a couple.
I did not have a single adult beverage on Saturday because I was like, oof, this is rough.
I've never seen you in the capacity you were Friday night at that concert.
No, probably not. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
actually you didn't see me. I didn't really get after it at all during the College World Series.
Yeah, that's true. Well, except for when we were doing a live stream, we had to do, Rocco's Jello shots.
Yes.
That's for content.
Yes, that was purely professional.
Mm-hmm.
I was in work mode of the College World Series. After hours at the Pinnacle Bank Championship, we got into recreational Ravi a little bit, and
R&R.
and no, we had a good time. A lot of the crew came out. I was sad I didn't get to hang out with you guys on Saturday night, but I was doing my own stuff.
You didn't miss much. There was a drone show from Kyle,
I
and
saw
then
that.
we had pizza in the parking lot.
I did see the.
It was
parking
more
lot
like
pizza.
I did ask. So Avery went and got the pizza, and I had asked her. I was like, "Can you cut this into like second grade like birthday party slices? I don't want to feel as bad when I have like 15 of those."
Yeah,
but
that's okay. I mean, it's okay.
So how did you feel yesterday when you weren't here? Because that's like, is that the first show you've missed?
I believe it's the second. I believe I missed. This is the second show that I missed. When my grandma, it was either my grandma or aunt's funeral. I missed that day, and then I missed yesterday.
Yeah.
So in 2 years, that's my second miss.
It's pretty good. You're running an Ironman streak here.
Yeah, I'm trying to. Wasn't thrilled about missing yesterday, but here we are. We're out here, right?
Yeah.
You know?
I'll tell you what.
We're out here.
I think people could tell that I was I wouldn't say intimidated. I was a little off my game yesterday.
Oh, so that was your
because
first TV appearance.
It was
right?
because what happened was
What happened
is I had everything from you. I was like, I'm gonna be Ravi today. I'm gonna filter through DB. He's gonna carry me. We'll be good. I'll do the reads, I'll intro, that stuff.
Yeah.
Right away, Shane hits intro. We're all good. We're rolling, and then DB just goes, "We're presented by Central Federal Credit Union." I was off the rest of the day. 3 straight hours of me being like, I don't even know what I'm doing here. There was no reason for me to be out here.
There's plenty of reason for you to be out
You could have put me in a high chair. I would have been about the same capability. It was brutal being out there yesterday. But no, we made it work. It was good.
With the steel, if you know what I mean.
Yep.
It's it's a different. It is a very different What on?
That was insane.
Yeah.
Did we catch that?
There was
it's because he's here. That's what it is.
It was just a loud metal crash outside, so I'm sure everything's fine. Rico's in the building today, and I don't know if you guys remember the podcast during the break that Austin, Rico, and I did, but we made a very big deal, rightfully so. I think an appropriate size deal about Rico cutting his hair and causing terrible things to happen. We were insistent, if you recall, that Rico cut his hair before Big Ten Media Days so as to not befall harm to any of our loved ones in Nebraska football and Nebraska volleyball.
Yep.
Rico, did you cut your hair before Big Ten Media Days? No. Did you cut your hair before volleyball media days? No. Did you cut your hair before either Nebraska football or Nebraska volleyball started practice? No. When did you cut your hair, Rico? Yesterday. Okay.
Yesterday afternoon, though. All
If
practices were in the morning for Nebraska athletics.
If anything bad happens to Rico.
Oh, geez. Hey there, buddy.
Or no, not if I don't care.
Look at that. That's bad.
I don't care if anything.
It's a great haircut, but at what cost?
I don't care if anything bad happens to Rico. But if anything bad happens to anyone in the world today, it is Rico's fault. That has been well established with his track record of him cutting his hair and the Knicks losing right after they had beaten Boston.
Yep.
Him cutting the hair and Nebraska losing in the Final Four twice. Him cutting his hair. What was the other one? There was another one in there as well.
Supernovas, right?
Oh, yeah. He cut his hair and the Supernovas lost in the playoffs, which he was a part of as well. So
TK's wondering if your haircut caused the shadow boxing video from Nebraska football yesterday.
Can I say, is that a video game thing? What's happening there? Is that like a Fortnite thing?
Okay, let me. Is that
I know that's the oldest I've ever sounded.
The oldest you've ever sounded is when you said, "I don't know what a Tate McRae is." That was the oldest you've ever sounded.
That wasn't. I wasn't on the air. Didn't need that to happen.
Okay.
That was just in the group chat.
Yeah.
Come on.
Oh, right. Because things that we type in the group chat never come up on this show. You're right.
True. I didn't say tree of trust. You're right.
Yeah, we did have this debate on our Friday afternoon activities on what is allowed to be said when we're hanging out in person and what can be said on the show.
Sometimes you have to be like, hey, this is not a show topic. Justin says he couldn't find his key this morning. Thanks, Rico. Husker Gnome just says, damn it, Rico. That seems appropriate. Tweet at Radio Rico AC. Anything bad that happens to you.
Yeah.
What time did you get the haircut? 3 o'clock. Oh, so that was before I got the needle in my eye. Thanks, Rico.
Yep. Ravi called me, and I said, I was like, well, Rico got his haircut today. Are you sure you want to go through with this? Because anything is possible.
Not yet. Still
okay, so to clarify the shadow boxing thing, I've seen online before, just in other videos where people are doing the, head movement stuff. Because I don't know where it originated
When I hear shadow boxing, I think of a boxer going through his steps.
Like people actually punching each other, yes.
Like I'm watching Rocky or I'm watching Creed, and they're kind of doing their thing, and they're, maybe there's the little rope that he's ducking under and stuff. They're literally they're shadow boxing in a mirror. They're working on their form. That is not what we saw yesterday from Nebraska football. That was not the shadow boxing I'm familiar with. Now, I will say I felt a little bit upset. I didn't have the energy to fight him on it, but I felt a little bit upset.
Sorry, Headley said he shart yesterday. Thanks, Rico.
Thanks. Rico's actually happy he caused that one. No,
Why can't you befall harm to other people's like teams, regions, universes, that sort of thing?
Yeah. No, use your powers. Use your powers for good. Channel.
Yes. I learned how to do that.
Channel your bad haircut energy into like.
Oh yeah. Geez, gosh, who was that? Mateer, right? Oklahoma. Yeah. Did you catch this yesterday?
I did not.
I almost. So here's the thing. I almost put it on the rundown, which again, Ravi had me do because we're the greatest producers in history. After he texted us at 10 p.m., can I get a graphic?
9:31. It was 9:31.
But
9:31.
But I was going to text Rico and be like, I think we should make this a graphic. But I was like, no, let's wait another day because I don't want you to have to make anything, that late in the night. Basically, what happened is John Mateer, Oklahoma quarterback.
Yeah.
Someone
I'm famously a huge fan.
Are you familiar with the app Venmo?
Yes, I am familiar with Venmo.
Someone scrolled back to his Venmo in 2022, in which he had two payments to the same person, and both payments had the caption of sports gambling. And then the second sports gambling said USC versus UCLA. Notably not something you can do.
Interesting.
He has since deleted all of those Venmo transactions.
Yeah.
But then it parlayed into this gigantic everyone either making
parlayed. I like how you did that there.
Bang. He either people were making like fake ones, and then there were actually people who were digging through like Husker players ones.
Yeah.
There were some like not egregious ones, but there are some very questionable like, that was interesting. It also then brought up, of course, the Michigan stuff when everyone was buying T-shirts from Connor Stallions. So
sure. So let me I actually have a weird area of expertise here.
Ooh. In sports gambling via Venmo?
Venmo specifically, and the memo lines in Venmo.
Okay.
So Venmo is a company owned by PayPal. I don't know if everybody knows this, right? I used to work in compliance at PayPal. One of my responsibilities was to look through Venmo transactions as well. A lot of people put stuff in there because they think they're very funny.
Yeah, me,
and
notably.
Yeah, like people will put things like terrorism financing or like, I'm not kidding. Or be like Osama bin Laden's birthday party, or like Saddam Hussein's funeral expenses, like all sorts of things. This was, I'm not kidding you. This was half of my job, was filtering through frat boy humor on Venmo. And, people will be like, hey, here's $50 for sexual favors. Famously something else you can't pay for outside of the great state of Nevada. But So I'm a little skeptical just from what 99.99% of the time when somebody puts something like that in the memo, it was of course not for that thing.
But when he puts USC versus UCLA gambling in it,
I mean, yes, that's
a little more on the nose,
significantly more damning.
Well, then it was really funny too because people were looking at the betting line for that game, and I think UCLA came back late and covered, or I can't remember what it was, but then people were putting quote tweets of broken televisions, like John Mateer watching USC versus UCLA.
So I'll withhold judgment a little bit just because of the Venmo piece of it.
Yeah.
Obviously saying USC versus UCLA gambling is not great. It's also possible it was for beer money and he thought he was funny.
Yeah.
There's a ton of those that I'm like, I don't even get how this is a joke. I don't know if you've ever famously.
It's the youths.
Well,
that's what it is.
So you've ever been around a toddler who just learned what a knock-knock joke was, but they don't totally understand the structure of it.
Yes.
And they'll be like, knock, knock. And you'll be like, who's there? And they'll be like, banana. And they'll be like, banana who? And they're like, banana, you're a stupid face. And it's like,
bang.
I don't think you understand.
That's got some heat.
Yeah. It's like burned. Can I get some, balm for that? Cause ouch. But a lot of frat boys seem very similar to toddlers who do not understand how jokes work.
Yeah, as a former frat boy myself, I was looking through my Venmo transactions and I got immediately nervous on some of the things that I probably put into Venmo descriptions.
Been private since day one.
Wow, congrats. What do you want? A cookie?
No, I don't want anything. I just want to not have anybody take screenshots of this later. Yeah, so it's sports gambling, UCLA versus USC, sports gambling. My guess is, if I had to guess, how old was John Mateer in 2022? Do we know?
I'll look up John Mateer's age.
Because I'm guessing it's like beer money or something.
He would have been 18.
Yeah. So
payments are coming the day after the game is played.
yeah, I'm guessing it's
That's not beer money.
Well, listen. As somebody who had to literally email these people and be like, "What were you gambling on?" or "What is this transaction for?" Like 99% of the time, it's an underage person trying to buy weed or beer or something like that.
Yeah, yeah.
And so they put something they think is funny or that they don't know is illegal because they're morons.
Oh, that's right. I remember. Yeah. So when
they do it retroactively.
When
I'm not saying you didn't gamble on sports. I'm saying, to me, as somebody who has investigated probably tens of thousands of Venmo transactions, it doesn't appear as damning as it might to others.
When I was in college and I was allegedly buying beer money, when I was allegedly not, of age, I was always using Venmo, and I would use, I think it was Communist Party something, like a donation or whatever.
Did it get flagged every time?
No, I never got contacted. I don't know, but I always use that, and then I would put the Soviet Union flag as the emoji. So I was just hoping people were like, "Oh, he's just really committed to his political takes."
Yeah. So like, there's certain obviously entities that you're not allowed to send money to or on the behalf of. So like,
you mean the communists wouldn't want my money?
No, I mean like the U.S. doesn't want you to send money to the communists.
Oh, fair, yeah.
That might be too broad that it may not catch
See,
it.
there you go.
But
they know me like that. They're like, he's just joking.
But if you're like, this is for Al Qaeda, I promise you, someone will be contacting you.
Okay, good to know.
Or if you're like a lot of people don't know how to spell hummus. I swear to God.
We got a couple of Hamases in there.
There's a lot of Hamases from like brunch girls that don't know how to spell hummus.
It's a West Omaha problem.
This is worldwide. I'm monitoring all over the country here, right? And like it's like, man, the misspelling is killing you guys.
That's incredible. That's incredible.
Yeah. So I'm not. Listen, nothing would be better for my takes than John Mateer never playing football for Oklahoma.
Who drafted him? Can we look? We got to make sure, because if he gets dinged, we do have this on the rundown.
Yes.
For Ohio State's quarterback stuff. We talked to Howard Griffith yesterday, and I had to ask him straight up because I am beginning to get a little nervous that Ohio State may not be starting Julian Sand. Just a little. Tim has him. Tim has drafted the furry and the sports bettor. That's crazy.
At least he didn't have Retzloff.
Yeah,
that was
that's
TK.
True.
TK had Retzloff.
Classic TK.
I believe he said he would like to replace him with Drake Lindsay, which I feel like I'm going to allow because I think Drake Lindsay's bad.
Is that the new BYU quarterback?
No, that's the Minnesota quarterback.
Oh, yeah. No, you can have Drake Lindsay. Are you good with that?
Yeah. You can 100% have Drake Lindsay.
Drake Lindsay's going to have like a career year.
I know.
Be upset by it.
I mean, I don't know. Has any Minnesota quarterback under PJ Fleck ever put up like ridiculous numbers?
Brosmer wasn't bad.
No, but they weren't.
But you're right.
He's
not going to,
it's a fairly conservative.
Yeah, he's not year 2 Dana Holgerson quarterback.
Yeah, absolutely not.
No
which
way.
we still have to get to at some point.
Right.
You know. I mean, me likey.
Okay, so there was something in chat earlier that piqued my interest. There's a lot of people saying Austin's going to hit a lot of today. Mm-hmm. Do I a lot?
I don't know. Are we doing this right now though?
What?
Like the things we do too much?
No, I just noticed this.
Oh,
I'm watching the film back from people saying this. David also put, watch out, Austin's flu game incoming. That's incredible. Headley said Austin's a young Big X the plug with the mm-hms. Do I that often?
I don't know. I haven't noticed it.
Maybe I just got a loud Maybe that's what it is.
I haven't noticed the mm-hms. What I did, one of the things that I do, and I notice this and it bothers me, but I can't stop, is sometimes when somebody's giving an answer and I'm trying to.
Oh, you hit it with the
Yeah, I go with the a lot, and sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it sounds a little too sensual. Like I don't. It's not the right tone.
Schaefer.
You can't say their name in it. That's absolutely not allowed. No, sometimes I do have to. Connor says, "I wonder what Scott Frost's Venmo looks like." Good question.
Margaritas.
I wonder. It's just all Just margarita emojis, just all of them.
Just all of them across. That'd be incredible. Oh, that'd be fun. Have you watched any Hard Knocks? Are you into the Hard Knocks? Are you out?
I haven't watched any yet. I don't typically love Hard Knocks. I usually catch the highlight clips or whatever on TikTok or whatever.
I'm the same way.
I'm just not a huge sit down and watch Hard Knocks guy. It doesn't. I mean, I don't know. It doesn't do that much for me. It never has.
So they started. I watched like the first maybe 20, 30 minutes of it the other day, and the first episode is essentially them making Bills fans feel really bad about themselves.
Oh, that's
because
not very nice.
They talked about all the Super Bowls they've lost and how they haven't went back and how they're still trying to get there, and felt a little mean because if you're a Bills fan and you are obviously like the Bills Mafia is almost like Nebraska football-ish because that's what they've got, right? Like that's their thing. They don't really have a whole lot else going on in Buffalo.
Not a lot going on in northern New York State.
So then, and I understand, pitch to a national audience, do that sort of stuff, but do you really think that the Bills fans who are super committed and want to watch your show are going to be very excited to relive the worst parts of their team's history?
Yeah, so
thanks for the reminder.
Yeah, it's like, oh no, we'd forgotten about the 4 consecutive Super Bowl losses. Thanks for bringing that back up.
Well, to be fair, with the new era Bills fans, they probably needed to. The people who have turned from the Chiefs dynasty to waiting to the Bills to win, they probably needed the reminder.
They're on the Josh Allen bandwagon now.
Yeah.
That's possible. That is possible. They tend to do this when they made the Red Sox documentaries about coming back from 2003 against the Yankees and stuff. They made sure to go out of their way to be like, hey, this is why it sucked to be a Red Sox fan for 100 years. And it's like, oh, thank you. I was unaware. Although I guess they figure I do this with people that always complain about movies that are adapted from books.
Yeah.
They're like, well, the book was better. And it's like, well, yeah, because you had 800 pages to work with.
Yeah.
Have you ever
Thanks,
listened
George
to
R. Martin?
Have you ever listened to an audiobook of an 800-page book? It's 20 hours long.
It's tedious.
You're not getting through that's not a movie. That's 4 seasons of television.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
So famously, some things are going to get left out. That's for you. Whoever said I said famously too much. Anyway.
See, bang. We're all learning. We're learning.
But
thanks, Lee.
I do the same thing. I wonder if they think the same way. They're like, hey, we're going to get the book crowd anyway. They're like, if you read Harry Potter, you're going to see the movies.
Right.
Whereas they go, hey, if you're a Bills fan, you're going to watch Hard Knocks. So we have to give you the context for the non-Bills fans.
That's fair.
Maybe that's the only thing I can come up with there. I don't know, but it does feel a little shank in the prison yard.
Well, then wow. Okay.
What a color from metaphor.
Yeah. A little Shawshank in there. Jeez. It's
time for the redemption.
It's probably too on the nose too, but last year when we saw Chasing 3, it quite was the same thing. Hey, we got to get 3 points. That's what we're looking for. If we score 3 more at the end of each game, we're going to be totally fine.
Yeah, and there were several where if they had scored 3 more at the end of each game, they'd have been totally fine.
Are you disappointed we're not getting the same insight this year for Husker football?
I would really like it if they did one and released it after the season. I'd be okay. I don't need it to be in real time. I would love it if, I don't know, they maybe hired somebody from the outside.
Hurrdat Sports,
really
Kyle
talented
Byers.
With a video crew that has maybe done team sports documentaries before.
Like Oklahoma State?
Like Oklahoma State softball, which was very popular in our group chat. If they had hired somebody like that, and then they could even have Final Cut, and just be like, hey, we can help you decide what this looks like, and just a collaborative process. I'd be okay if that happened. Get one of those after the season.
Yeah.
And then maybe like the movie they cut together with the Chasing 3, maybe it sees the light of day, maybe it doesn't.
I'm not opposed to that either. Although I'm loving these walking and talking with Matt Rhule.
I do love the walk and talks.
I feel like it started with Rhule pointing at whatever video intern was on the field at the time, just going, hey, record me right now. Oh, okay. Yeah.
It's like, have you ever listened to Bill Simmons at all?
Every once in a while, but man, that dude's a content machine. He never stops.
But every once in a while when he's doing the podcast, he'll be like, hey, turn on the TikTok camera. He'll stare at it. And he's like, whenever he's ready to deliver a hot take. I feel like that's what Matt Rhule was with whoever was standing near him with a telephone or a camera. He's like, hey, turn on the TikTok camera. Let's do this. Yeah. And then he just starts walking at him.
Now I'll let you and DB get to more of the single digit stuff because we talked about it a little bit yesterday. But you I know cannot be surprised that RVP was.
Oh no, not at all. I would have guessed if I had guessed, I didn't, but if I had predicted which ones were going to be single digits before the season, Riley Van Poppel absolutely would have been on that list.
I was a little surprised of Dane Key, a little bit, just because kind of new blood into the system and all that stuff. But for what he represents and the type of transfer that he was, it does add up as to why he was, voted upon. And Rhule said it in his walk and talk video, highest vote getter from the team. So
it does seem like, it seems like that he has gone out of his way, Dane Key, to be everything Nebraska's coaching staff wants a player to be, right?
Moved in with Raiola.
Yeah, I think somebody, I can't remember who brought this up, but Raiola was talking about how, he met Dane Key and he's like, oh man, this guy's going to be in my wedding someday.
Yeah.
Like that type of connection. And if he builds those type of connections with everybody, it makes sense how he would get that, how he'd get the single digit so fast. My only thing was a little hesitant. I've got a little like wide receiver transfer 1 year PTSD from Jamal Banks and getting the 1 year thing and whatever. And
Todd and Billy Kemp too.
Billy Kemp also, where it's just kind of like, I'd really love it if, there was a little bit more there and you had a little bit more history with the program. But again, this is a player-led, player-driven thing. They'll gravitate to who they gravitate towards. I think I said this a couple weeks ago, I think when you were hosting with me, that I think the more the players line up with who Rhule would pick, the better position the program is in.
Yeah.
Right. When the players, it's kind of like when he talks about, hey, the players are saying the same things I'm saying.
Yep.
Right. It's just a manifestation of that.
Well, and DB said it a little bit yesterday too, that there's always going to be, it's player led, player voted on. We're going to, have those guys do it. Mm-hmm. But then there's also a part of the coaching staff too. And this is probably, I don't think that this is probably an issue now with the Husker coaching staff, maybe in the first year when they were doing this, but maybe the 10 that they voted on in 2023, the Husker coaching staff was like, we're actually going to put this guy in instead. We're going to do this a little bit because maybe we need this representation a little bit more.
Maybe it's one of those things too. Everybody brings up the whole Jeff Sims thing and how he had one or whatever. And maybe people didn't really understand at the time what it was supposed to be. Maybe it was like, oh, he's the quarterback. He should get one, whatever. Or maybe Jeff Sims is a great locker room guy. I have no idea.
Yeah.
Obviously, it didn't work out here for him, but that's not to say that he wasn't just like this amazing guy in the room, right? But no, Riley Van Poppel absolutely would have been one of the guys that he picked.
Now, it is interesting, though, because you look at RVP's stats, and from an outsider perspective, because, there's going to be some Iowa aggregate account that picks this up and looks at, 8 career tackles, this is the guy you want to be a leader of your team. You don't understand the impact of what he has been and what he did even last year. And I know it frustrated many people to no end, you and I both, that a guy like RVP that could have been a significant contributor on a team that may or less needed him at times last year.
Yeah.
If he's the dominant wrecking ball that he can be as a redshirt sophomore this year, the sky is the limit really for him.
Nebraska would have been better last year if RVP played.
Yes.
But I believe the decision was Riley Van Poppel will be better by redshirting.
Yeah.
And that's when when coaches can make that decision and the players are on board with that, that's when you can, not to steal a line or anything, but that's where the magic happens, right? Because you've got a system in place where players know without a doubt. You think Riley Van Poppel wasn't looking out there every Saturday and be like, I can help there? Yeah, of course he was.
Yeah.
But he knew, hey, because this wasn't going to be 2023 where the starting tackles were only playing like 35, 40 snaps a game. Coach Rhule, I think, talked about this over the weekend. This was a situation where Nash and Ty were probably going to get 50, 55, 60 snaps a game. That doesn't leave that much for Riley Van Poppel, even though he could have been helpful. Even if you drop those down to like 45, 50, that's probably not worth it for him to burn a red shirt on.
Yep.
So you sit there and you go, hey, we think you can get a lot better this year. And yes, you could help us, but long-term, this is what's best for you. That's when you get total buy-in from players, because it's not just, what can I do for the coaches? It's what can we do for each other?
Yeah.
And that becomes a total game changer when you're talking about team culture and things like that. Because we talk all the time about like, hey, they're not asking you to do anything that they wouldn't do themselves. That's sometimes hard to translate from player to coach because your jobs are so different. The coaches, although I don't know if you at the open practice, Terry Braden was running sprints when his unit got in trouble, just like everybody else was, right?
Nice. Yeah.
So a lot of times there's not a direct translation of like, oh, like you have to do this physically, like you have to be up at 5 a.m. to be in the weight room. Like that's not always the job of the coaches, right? But it's the point of, hey, we're willing to sacrifice for you just the way we're asking you to sacrifice for us.
Yeah.
And I think that makes a huge difference. And I think Riley Van Poppel, especially if he's able to have the year or next couple years that we think he has the ability to, that's going to be a huge, I think, kind of poster child for what Nebraska football is, right? Of, hey, this guy made the difficult choice. This guy had the opportunity to do even more as a sophomore than we allowed him to, but we said, hey, this is what's best for you. And then let's say he goes on and is like a second-round pick in the NFL draft.
That's a win.
That's
a win for everybody.
Huge culture win and a program win because you can point to that and say, hey, this is how we take care of our players.
Yep.
This is how we make sure we do what's best for them.
Yep.
And that, to me, is a program changer.
Yeah. And especially, I mean, everything you said, just if you get a guy like Riley Van Poppel, sometimes I think we forget about how big it was that he committed to Nebraska, too.
Yeah.
I mean, this is one of the top defensive linemen in the state of Texas. He's being recruited by a lot of high-profile programs. If he had went to some of those programs, he would have been starter somewhere else, right? He would have been doing certain things elsewhere.
And I believe he had to – I don't know if he officially decommitted, but I believe there was – when the coaching transition happened, I believe there was some uncertainty whether or not he was going to end up in the fold as well. So, like, he bought into Nebraska, then he had to re-buy into Coach Rhule. Like, this was a significant recruit.
Yeah.
This is a big guy.
And you get a guy that's like that to, one, not look outside on the grasses that surround you and try to peek into other people's yards and say, oh, I could, jump ship.
Greener,
could jump ship over here. I could be looking at, the neighbor's house over here. He wanted to stay in place. And when you've got a guy that's on the fringe on, the second half of your 2 deep, or you've got a guy that is, another one of those upcoming breakout stars, if Riley Van Poppel becomes that player that we expect him to become, like you said, if he is a second-round pick, that is tremendous.
I mean, even if he's a fourth-round pick like Ty Robinson, that's a win.
But then you can use him as an example, and Rhule can say, his buy-in got him here.
Yeah.
That's what, and when you can sit down with another player of that sort, you can do the same thing with someone else later and say, yes, RVP was an example that we used in 2023, 2024 for this. We think that you are that type of player again. It's a compliment at that point, right?
Absolutely.
Because then it doesn't become a, hey, we're redshirting you just because, it's not going to fit this year.
You're ready or whatever. Because that's what a lot of people think redshirt is.
Yes,
People look at a redshirt and they go, oh, this is because I'm not ready.
Yes.
That wasn't the case with Riley Van Poppel. He would have been helpful last year.
And so then instead you can have the conversation of saying, okay, yeah, no, it's not that you're not ready right now. We could use you. You would actually be a piece of our pie for this upcoming season, whatever your role is. But we find your value more important and more impactful for years to come in the future, and we need you then more than we need you right now. And I think that would resonate even more for some players. And
frankly, we're worried more about what's best for you than what's best for us.
Yeah.
That's what they're saying.
I think the best part about this, too, is that you and I are speaking this to masses, right? But we aren't the ones that have to convince any of these guys. No. I actually almost fully believe now from everything that we hear from the offseason, the way the guys have talked here heading into this year 3 of all the spring game press conferences from where we've been in the summer to hearing guys when they interview with Avery and Anna and all the other people we have out and about doing stuff. When we hear the Nebraska football players now talk comparative to where they were leading into Rhule's first year to where they were last year, I think you've got a roster of RVP and mentality.
Yeah.
I really don't think it's hard to get. I think if you sat down, if Rhule and his coaching staff had to sit down a lot of guys that were in his circumstance, Riley Van Poppel's circumstance from last year, I don't think you have that much that many guys that are, not going to buy into what they're feeding them.
I think so. Last year, I think you're probably about 50-50.
I would agree.
This year, I think the number of guys that wouldn't understand is dramatically lower.
Yep.
I mean, I keep coming back to this thing that Rhule said a couple weeks ago that sort of went under the radar and just in passing, where he was asked about transfers and he goes, I'm not bringing in guys that don't want to practice. I'm not bringing in guys that don't love football. I'm not bringing in guys that don't eat at the training table. I already fixed that problem.
Yeah.
That just keeps ringing in my head. I already fixed that problem. The way he talks about this team and their mentality.
We're making it a good job.
Yes,
Yeah.
like the I already fixed that problem lets me know that, like, yeah, there were guys that weren't quite there where they needed to be mentally. And I think what he's telling us is like, hey, this team is where I need him to be.
Yep.
I think there's way more Riley Van Poppels on this team, and maybe he's the like most extreme example. Maybe he's like the poster boy for what Nebraska wants. But I think there's way more Riley Van Poppels than there are not on this team now. Yeah. And that's part of the reason I'm so bullish on this roster and kind of what they've got going into year 3.
What if we see someone like I'm trying to think. Like, did he redshirt last year? I can't remember.
No, he's a true freshman.
Oh, so he's a true freshman.
Yeah,
okay, perfect.
Freshman.
So, great example. So, let's say Cortez Mills' first 2 games of the year, he has like 100 yards receiving against Cincinnati, right? Like, breaks open a big play. And then in the second game against Akron, he has like, another big play. And Rhule just goes, hey, we love what you're doing. We might need you for a future term. Mm-hmm. So we might have to put like a red shirt on you. I'm not saying like that's obviously how it would go. Right. If he's making big plays, they're probably going to use him.
But if you're looking at him and you go, okay, let's say him and Ja'Cory are a little redundant.
Right.
And like Keelan Smith, who I'm really high on, and Quinn Clark, who had a really nice open practice and has gotten their names mentioned a couple times. Let's say they continue to progress and you're like, they kind of bring us an element that's different than what Cortez does.
Yep.
Maybe we want to save. Now, I don't think it's going to happen because I think with the Dana Holgorsen offense, like you kind of want guys like Cortez or Corey, whatever. But just for the sake of an argument, that's a position group where you've got guys that could play now, that maybe you've got some guys behind them that could fill that gap. And I think that's a fair example. I think a Cortez Mills, I think it would drive him crazy.
I think so too.
But I also think he would do it.
But I'll add this part too. I think that the Nebraska coaching staff is also in a different spot now because of the new influences that have come in, that especially on that offensive side, that it would be a conversation Rhule would have with Dana and would have with Kel Shorts and all those guys too. But if it came to a point in the season where, Isaiah Hunter's just not doing it, what? Hey, listen, we know what we told you back in September, but Cortez, you got to get back in here because we need someone to get this done. And we're willing to burn that red shirt for the sake of getting into winning football. And I think that they're cool with either conversation. I think they love to think of the long term. They want to play the long game. But when it comes to the nuts and bolts of trying to get it done and making sure that they are having success and they're setting the standard and keeping that standard, I think that there's really no element of what they want to do with this team in terms of buy-in that they could tell the team that everyone wouldn't, be fully throttled going the same direction.
Yeah, I actually don't think they would have the second conversation with him.
You don't think so?
If they had, let's say that he hasn't played, let's say he plays the 2 games, he hasn't played since then and goes into November, and let's say one of the receivers gets hurt.
Right.
Or whatever. Let's say it's an injury because that way it's not a production thing, right? I genuinely don't think they would go to Cortez and be like, hey, I know we sat you for like 2 months, but now we need you. I think they would say, hey, even though we could use you, it's what's best for you is to wait until you've got the 2 games left and we can use you
for those 2 and then all the playoff.
But leave you for redshirt. Because I don't think they would go back on it if they would say, hey, this is what's best for you. Now, Cortez might be banging down their door.
Exactly.
And
right.
saying like, hey, get me in this game now.
Right. But that Big Ten opener, he would be.
I can play. I really don't think they'd go back to him and be like, hey, I know we said we're going to redshirt. Like, I don't think they would do that to him. A, because you're in a different mentality. And then B, a lot of times, I don't know how many people know this, but a lot of times red shirts, even now when they're playing the 4 games or whatever, their training's a little bit different during the course of the season than it is if you're actively preparing to play. And so I honestly think they would probably just say, hey, this is what we decided was best for you. If that costs us a little bit, like, then that's okay. Cause we don't want to waste a year of your eligibility because we decided to sit you down for 2 months and then just try and use you for 5 games instead of 4, right? Like, that's a tough look.
And Headley, I understand what you're saying. Oh, you don't sit Mills because you don't want to watch him play ball somewhere else next year. I get it. But at the same time, when it was announced that RVP was going to redshirt, that's a possibility in itself, and yet he stayed.
Yeah.
That's what we were trying to talk about a little bit ago. With 95% of this roster is bought in. Yeah. They committed to Rhule and they committed to Nebraska football because they understand it will be a process for them individually, for them as the program, for them as a collective, right?
I will say I don't think I don't think Mills is getting redshirted. That was just an
Yeah,
example.
that is all an example. Yeah,
I don't think it's more likely. I think that like a running back could get redshirted,
like Mosey. Yeah,
either Mosey or like Quentin Ives, maybe. Like
Yeah.
maybe like Quentin Ives has had a little bit. He's been a little banged up, so he's
Mhm.
missed part of fall camp. Let's say a week from now he starts to get healthy, and he looks at this narrative and goes, okay, well, I'm behind Emmett Johnson, I'm behind Mekhi Nelson, now I'm behind Mosey as well, and they're like, hey, we could definitely use you. You could maybe get back into that running back 3 conversation or whatever. And he sits there and they go to them and they say, but let's redshirt you. Let's not waste this year. And I don't know if Quentin's been redshirted or not
Right.
yet. So that's this, just an example.
I'm sure we'll get that probably leading into week 1. I would think.
Right. But if you go and say, hey, we're going to lose Emmett after this year, let's go ahead and save you so that you can be ready for next year, right?
Yeah.
That's going to be better for you. You're going to get more opportunities rather than just burning a year of your eligibility. Connor Booth could be the same way. I could see Connor Booth fighting for 4th team running back reps right now with Quentin Ives. Like there's a chance that I think he could play. I also think, and certainly on like special teams, I also think there's a chance they would go to him and say, hey, we don't want to waste your year. Let's get you ready to play in the future when your time is a little bit closer to getting real running back reps.
Yeah.
I think that's the key here is doing what's best for the players and believing that in the long term that's what's best for the program rather than trying to mortgage the future in order to get a win or 2 more this year. I understand that can be frustrating to Nebraska fans sometimes. It was frustrating me last year in the secondary.
Yep.
I didn't like how the secondary was playing.
And I was right there with you. I agreed.
I was getting super frustrated, specifically with Gifford and Singleton and some of their run fits and the way they were playing safety. I didn't love it, right? You get frustrated with, and this is not his fault because I know Malcolm Hartzog is a lot of what they love about Nebraska football players, but there's certain positions he's just undersized for, right? And that makes it really difficult on him. He's doing his best, and he's doing everything they ask of him, and that's part of the reason he allows himself to get put in positions where maybe he doesn't look the best. Rhule was talking about this over the weekend as well. There's some guys that'll say, oh, I don't want to go play right tackle. I'm a left tackle. I don't want to go look bad.
Yeah.
That's not Malcolm Hartzog. Malcolm Hartzog is going to go play, and he was talking about Mosey too. He'll go play wherever you ask him to play.
Yeah.
So I don't want to be too hard on Hartzog because I think sometimes when we see him in positions where he doesn't look the best, it's because he's covering for someone or he's doing something that he ideally wouldn't have to be asked to do.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to be too hard on Hartzog. But there's times where you're like, man, really wish they had a different guy they could put there. And I think that they have had different guys they could put there. But when you're in game 7, you don't want to use a guy for 5 games and not be able to redshirt him, right?
Yep.
So there were times in the secondary last year when I looked and I go, man, it would be really, really nice if some of these young guys could come in and play. And I'm sure the coaching staff thought that too. I'm sure John Butler was like, hey, I've been in the NFL for the last decade and a half. Like,
I think I know who could be helping us out right now.
can we just put the guys in that can help me?
But you know what's funny about it too? After Wisconsin, you play the Iowa game, you get all that break time, you have some, departures, you got some movement, you got some injuries, you get to the Pinstripe Bowl, and lo and behold, who's out there playing their best against an ACC power forward opponent? Donovan Jones.
Yeah.
I mean, I was thoroughly impressed. Donovan Jones is one of my players to watch this upcoming year. I'm more confident in a player that I've only seen one game from in Donovan Jones because of how impressed I was.
Yeah.
And that he wasn't just put in that position because, we got no one else is here, Donovan. I guess you get to go in.
Yeah.
No, I'm sure that it was finally a conversation of we're playing guys that are going to get us a win.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, and not just because of DB, that's how I feel about Caleb. I've always felt that way about Caleb because of how I saw him play in high school. And
you think every guest that we have on here that talks about the DB rotation, you think that they're just being nice to Damon?
No.
Because they're going to mention Caleb? No. They're all saying Caleb for a reason. They're all saying all these other pieces and factors that could rotate in at DB because it's a talented room, because there's that much prosperity going on.
And he's just
Caleb Benning.
He's a super talented kid. And honestly, as much as anything, I know his mentality enough that I'm just that kid's going to figure it out.
Yeah.
Whatever it looks like for him, when you're talking about competitive stamina and the endurance to be the same guy every day and to do the hard thing every day, that's Caleb to a T. I will bet on that any day of the week and twice on Sunday. I'm not saying he's the only one, but I know for sure he's one of them. I will take my chances with that kid. That kid is built perfectly to play for this coaching staff.
Yep.
The way their mentalities line up is seamless.
I know DB's talked a little bit about it, like on the show.
Yeah.
I know you have a better insight on it too, but it's not like Caleb was immediately going to be a Husker anyway.
Yeah, no, it was not.
He was being recruited, and he was garnering his other options too.
Yeah, I mean,
he chose to buy into a program.
It was never a given.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think we can explain that to people enough, and DB said it on the air, so I don't feel bad saying it. I'm not betraying confidence
Like we got a Creed
or
up
anything.
on the TV.
Oh, always.
That's insane.
Always have Creed on TV. This was not a given. This was never a given.
Yep.
Like, DB was genuinely nervous he was going to have to deal with his kid playing for a different Big Ten school.
Yep.
And that was an extremely stressful time for everybody in that family. Like, Matt Rhule had to go and get it done.
Yep.
Like, how many times has DB told the story? Like, oh, I'll go close his ass. Like,
Yeah.
that's what Rhule said to him, right?
Yep.
So, like, this is a kid that I think Rhule identified as mentally being exactly where he needed to be, and obviously being physically gifted enough to get the job done as well. Like,
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of, whether it's Caleb Bennings or Riley Van Poppels or apparently Dane Keys on this team, I think there are way more of those than there are of any of the other, not even problem personalities, right?
Yep.
Just not quite the right fit.
Yep.
Right? Coming from a different culture, coming from a different background. Like, we've said this before, and I'm sure we'll say it again. When people look at the guys that aren't getting recruited in the Metro, it's not because they're not talented.
Mm-hmm.
It's not because they don't deserve Power 4 offers. It's not because this and that. It's they're looking for something so specific that you can be a great player with a great mentality and everything else going on, and it's just not the right fit.
Yep.
And that's not just for Nebraska, but for you too, right? Like, there's a bunch of kids. I love Matt Campbell at Iowa State, and we can talk about him in a minute. But, like, I love Matt Campbell at Iowa State. There's a bunch of Nebraska and Omaha kids going to Iowa State. I'm thrilled to death for both Matt Campbell, because I think they're good players, and for the kids here, because I think that's a good coach.
And Sydney's finest, Keen Kaiser, committed to Iowa State. But
absolutely. Yeah, see? Sydney's finest.
Sydney's finest.
I thought
it ain't me anymore.
I thought it was
no.
you. Did you
it
get
ain't
passed?
Me. Yeah.
That's...
100. I've been passed, brother. Come on now. Let's. I did not know.
Famously,
UNK's finest.
UNK's finest.
Yeah. They have the Austin Jacobsen Academic Center for Success out there.
Sydney's D2 finest, Austin Jacobsen.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Let's
D2 athlete. Relax.
Let's take a quick break here. That's Austin. I'm Ravi. It's Hurrdat Sports Live. DB will be with us at the top of the hour or somewhere close to it as he's at practice this morning. We will be back with more Hurrdat Sports Live right after this.
We're in the neighborhood, just down the street. With a wide variety of home equity products to help you create a relaxing oasis. So you can kick back and relax in comfort. Centris Federal Credit Union. We are where you are.
I thought we were really efficient on offense. I thought we were able to both run the ball and throw the ball. The one caveat to that is that when the quarterback's not live, sometimes guys are blitzing and running by, and I'm saying stay off them. So, to stop a guy like Dylan, you're going to have to get to the quarterback and affect the quarterback. So there's probably a lot of plays where, guys are blitzing, they have to pull up. And I just think on defense, a lot of good things being done on defense. I just think we have to continue to tackle. We have some elite running backs, and it's really hard to tackle those guys. And so our tackling is something that has to improve based upon we did a Wednesday short yardage live period and today's live period, and we just need those reps. It's the first week of tackling. We're going to have to really improve that this week. You think about it, really 5 more practices till training camp is over, and 9 practices until we start game week. So when I say over, like next Saturday, kind of as you get in the next week, you start a little bit of game planning for 4 days and then game planning full out. So we have a real sense of urgency, and I think tackling is probably the main thing. And then we got some punt, we got some field goals. Really pleased with the field goal operation today. And it looked like the punt. I've never enjoyed punt periods in my life, but it's my favorite period of practice right now. I just could watch Archie punt all day.
being a veteran guy helps a lot. He's obviously been here for a long time, so I think it gives you that ability to have some experience, being an older player, knowing the system pretty well, and just, obviously he's a big athletic kid, so young man, he's not a kid, but him being able to do a lot of different things really help. And so when you have guys like that at that position, that can cover and can pressure and can play off the ball, can play out in space, it adds versatility to the defense. Well, I think you'd have to ask him that specifically. I don't want to put words in his mouth, but I think just kind of he's been here for a long time. So he's a guy that's experienced. He knows what he's doing. He knows what to expect. He's a smart football player. So when you got guys like that and his size, I think that helps.
You're listening to Hurrdat Sports Live.
Welcome back, Hurrdat Sports Live, presented by Central Federal Credit Union. That's Austin. I'm Ravi. That's the famous hand of
the
DB.
ghost of DB. Yeah.
He's the apparition. Who did not apparently realize that Rico was sitting there.
That was incredible.
DB will join us here in just a second. Reminding you here, though, that make sure you've got those seatbelts fastened and make them click. They prevent injuries and save lives, but only if worn properly. This message from the NDOT Highway Safety Office. I did want to get to the Matt Campbell thing real quick because we were talking about him kind of recruiting here. And Iowa State, I'm weirdly a big Matt Campbell fan. I think it goes back to I
kind of wanted him to be the Husker coach at that time.
Well, okay,
that was a part of it for me.
I do think it partly goes back to there, and it wasn't even necessarily that I wanted him to be the Nebraska coach, is that when his name came up and people are like, oh, he's not good enough, I was like, you're out of your mind.
Yeah.
Like, that dude is a phenomenal football coach. From all accounts, very good dude. Like, that is a guy that Nebraska, had it not gone the direction of Matt Rhule, which is obviously a great hire.
Yeah.
I would have been very happy with a Matt Campbell in that situation.
Well, I'll admit, too, I'm glad that I didn't stick on my Aranda train after his midget comments the other day. That was
so weird.
That was interesting.
I was like,
you want to talk about things Matt Campbell and Matt Rhule never say? That's probably on the list.
He's never you could have done the one of us without having to bring in the whole
He must have just watched that like the day before or something. Like, it was on his hotel like the night before, because that was crazy detail that he layered into that.
Yeah, he really, or maybe it's his favorite movie. Maybe he falls asleep to it every
That could
night.
be it. That could be it.
That might be more problematic if you're Dave Aranda.
But I am with you that I don't understand, like, the Matt Campbell story seems to always be like surprised that Iowa State is as good as they are, but then when they have their 6-6 season or something, it's not praised the same way of saying, oh, look what we got out of this team. It's almost as Matt Campbell gets back on a hot seat, which I don't understand how that can be the conversation each and every time that they have an up and down season.
I mean, I'm very confident that Matt Campbell is not actually on a hot seat at Iowa State. I think it's maybe like a national thing where they're like, oh, can he get back over the hump or whatever. I don't think locally that's ever a problem, as we saw with the extension he just got over the weekend. But it does make me wonder, right? He's been at how old would you guess Matt Campbell is? Do you know off the top of your head? He's been at Iowa State for a long time, and he was at Toledo before that.
Is he mid-40s? 44?
He's still only 45 years old.
It's pretty good.
That dude's been a head coach for, I think, 12 years.
Wow.
And he's only 45 years old still. Yep. And so I kind of think we think of him as older than that because he's been at Iowa State for so long. And it almost seems like maybe he's missed an opportunity to move on if he even wants to. I mean, he's making $5 million a year now in Ames, Iowa, which goes a pretty long way in Ames, Iowa.
Yes.
Just like it does in Omaha, not hating on Ames necessarily. $5 million a year gets you everything you want in Omaha, Nebraska.
Yeah, you could buy out all 3 bars that are in Ames. It'd be great. You'd have a great time.
So you're very familiar with Ames.
I'm very familiar,
from your Farmageddon days.
Yes, I do love a good Farmageddon.
You're not going over to Ireland this year?
No, God, no. I was very excited to go back to Farmageddon. I was actually going to drive to Manhattan this year.
Yeah?
I'm not going to Ireland.
Well, that's too bad. You're missing out.
Yeah, I guess. I hear Ireland's a great place for college football.
I feel like you would blend in really well.
Potato famine? That's what you're saying?
Yeah, you look like you like potatoes a lot. You look like a big Guinness guy.
That could be true.
I will say, so they were having Guinness at the Pinnacle Bank Championship presented by Woodhouse.
The people who ordered Guinness concerned me.
Having Guinness on like a 90-degree day
Insane.
is some of the most psychopath behavior I've ever seen.
The people who are just slowly sipping it too. And I understand it's not a slam type of beer.
Yeah, it's not a chugging beer for sure.
But let's have a pace to this thing, right? Like let's get moving on this. Like it's gonna start curdling. We're gonna have a bad day. I don't want that.
By the bottom, it's just hot coffee.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%.
I'm like, what are we doing here?
Yeah, I'm with you.
But no, I do. It does make me wonder whether or not Matt Campbell will ever move on to another program, and I do kind of wonder what it looks like.
I've always thought Campbell's next step, because I don't know how many he isn't powerful. I don't know how many like big time offers he would get. Mm-hmm. I don't think that maybe a Big Ten school would give him a chance. But if you move from Iowa State to, not saying that it wouldn't work out at like Illinois, or maybe like Minnesota, right? Would he make a move, or is that lateral? I feel like that's pretty lateral for him, other than getting into a more premier conference.
Well, so I think the money would be a lot different. I think a Big Ten school can just offer more money.
Yeah.
So like $5 million, you got to be getting pretty close to the top what Iowa State can offer you there, right?
Do you think he's closer to moving up to a more premier conference or going to an NFL? Like an NFL franchise. I think he's actually closer to an NFL franchise than he would be a premier program.
I hear his name a lot, but it wouldn't. I mean, he does kind of fit what you would, I think, want from an NFL coach.
Yeah, because he's handled highs and lows. The market would be different.
For sure.
The perfect place for him would honestly be like a Green Bay.
Sure.
If he could move there, because then, the national media is not always on top of you. It's more of like the local.
He's not going to like Dallas.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
That's obvious.
He's not going to go to New York. He could probably fit into, one of like the non-premier cities, but yeah.
He feels very Midwestern.
He does.
We love a good Midwestern.
Is he from Midwest?
I don't know. I'd have to look it up.
Curious.
You're going to Google Matt Campbell real quick?
Yeah, I'll do it quick.
Let's take a quick break here so we can get DB back in. He's from Ohio.
Ohio, yeah.
There we go.
Age 45 from Ohio.
DB's pacing around like he's
nervous.
Got some energy to get out, so let's get him up on the stage here.
Were you sending blitzes out this morning?
Austin, also a very Midwestern guy. We appreciate you filling in this morning and yesterday for me.
Yep.
I appreciate it, and we'll get DB back up here. It's Hurrdat Sports Live. We'll be back coming up next.
I didn't really know how that worked here, but it's a player vote award, which makes it even more special. I think that made it mean even more to Rebecca. And coaches aren't allowed to be in summer lifts, so I hadn't seen her or even heard from the strength coach, who was doing better, who, wasn't. And I just knew this preseason she was at another level. And I think her competitive spirit is where it needs to be. And to see that get rewarded, and of course it's a lifting award, but still a vote, to see that get awarded by her teammates is pretty special. And this means a lot to her. And her senior year, I know she wants this to be her best year, and just as a player, but also as a teammate. So I'm really excited for her. I knew she was going to be very, very excited about that.
Sticking with Rebecca, just how did you feel that she played today?
I thought she was the player of the game, and we were kind of joking in the locker room. She had the most attempts. That's because we overpassed and overdug so many balls. But I'm like, kudos for her for killing all those. So I just thought she was super aggressive. She was communicating at the end. I think everybody was tired and like, oh, maybe it's time to go home. And, the only person I could hear on the court was Rebecca. And so just impressive day for her.
I think an eagerness to learn and, how they can support the room and be a benefit to the team. I think that's really a compliment to them. I don't think there's any egos in the room. They understand that, again, the fluidity and the reps and the rotation is part of our situation to let them showcase what they can do. So they've been really, really complimentary of each other, pushing each other, challenging each other, and then and there's a friendship building within in the room. So it's really a positive culture, I think, right now. Yeah, I think it's been great. I mean, it's ideal as far as, reinforcing the standard is the standard. It doesn't matter if Dylan's in there or the fourth quarterback's in there, right? The standard is you perform and you execute like the expectation is that everybody's on the field has. So I think that's ideal in that situation, and everybody understands that, takes that serious, and once they're in there, whether you get 1 or 2 reps, you need to compete at a high level.
Imagine your first dream home and the feeling of walking inside for the first time. With Centrus Federal Credit Union's First Time Home Buyers program, you are at the doorstep of bringing your vision to life. Welcome home. From your neighborhood mortgage experts, Centrus Federal Credit Union. We are where you are.
Yeah, she's just been a really big role model for all of us. I think coming in as a freshman, I had a lot of questions in the weight room, in the gym, and she was really good at just bringing me in and just teaching me all the little things. And she has the biggest work ethic ever, and so it's very fun to look up to her.
What was it like for you, first match out there in a Husky uniform, sold out venue?
It was so exciting. I mean, dreaming of it and thinking about what it's going to be like whenever I walk in is a lot different than actually doing it. And walking in and just seeing everything filled up, I was wow, this is amazing. So it was so fun.
Okay, how did you feel after first performance here?
Amazing. Are you kidding? I specifically remember a gap shot you had when I was diving in, or AJ, one of the middles was diving in, and you recognized it and you cut it back, and that was something that we haven't really been working on, and you saw and you went for it. I was very proud of her. Yeah, very mature swing.
Welcome to Hurrdat Sports Live.
Welcome back, Hurrdat Sports Live, presented by Centrus Federal Credit Union. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill, where it's Tuesday, which means kids eat free with the purchase of an adult entree. You get a free kids meal as well. Make sure you get out to either location, La Vista or La Vista. Not La Vista. That's not a real place. La Vista or Gretna. Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill. What's up, DB?
Well, unless you want to in La Vista.
In one
of the La Vista locations, i.e. Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill, I'm all in.
Yeah?
Yeah.
How we doing this morning?
We're good. You missed me?
Of course.
I feel like it's we're like Peaches and Herb.
Yeah?
Reunited, and it feels so good.
I know. I was gone yesterday.
Reunited, and it feels so good. That's way too ethnic for you.
No, I know that one.
Do you?
Yeah.
What'd you do? Did you slow dance to it?
Reunited.
Did you couple skate?
And it's understood.
Yeah. Babe, not bad.
See? Yeah, I know.
Not bad.
No, I listened to a lot of older, my mom listened to a lot of, I guess I don't know if it was oldies at the time, but she would listen to a lot of that kind of stuff when I was a kid in the car.
Does Rose have some crossover?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Good for her.
Anything 60s, 70s, she's a big fan of.
You think did she watch Solid Gold?
I don't know. I don't know about that one. She watched MASH. I don't know if that helps.
They're not even remotely.
Oh, not the same?
Same.
Okay.
No. And I went with Solid Gold as opposed to Soul Train because I don't want to
I don't
reach.
I don't know if she watched Soul Train.
I'm gonna guess not, but I don't want to stereotype.
Probably outside of her.
But Solid Gold might be in her wheelhouse.
I've never even heard of Solid
Shane,
Gold.
what's the one that Dick Clark had?
Not sure, but I did watch Solid Gold.
Yeah, Solid Gold. They crossover. Dick Clark had one too.
We're gonna look up Solid Gold here.
How do I look? Do I
look
look
good.
okay?
Yeah, you look good.
Do you like my my wrestling sweatshirt?
I do. I like the little warrior and the singlet there.
I wore this for Joseph.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not Husker wrestling. That's pretty good.
He likes wrestling.
Yeah, I figured.
I'm Team JD.
Yeah.
I tell you, I saw Ziola out in public.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, I was taking Micah for a physical, and I ran into Cade. He was as excited to see me as I was him.
Oh, yeah?
That made my day. No, it really did.
It's exciting.
Sometimes, like, you don't like kids, so you don't get it. But, like, when high school is kind of what you're passionate about, and young people, and I have as much admiration for him as anybody. He was so excited. It totally made my day.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And I texted his dad. I was like, hey, probably meant more to me than it did to him.
That's your go-to, though.
But
You
I
always do that.
love him.
Yeah.
That's what insecurity gets you.
Yeah.
That's what you say. You go to default to protect your own feelings.
Yeah. And I have to tell you, like, no, I'm pretty sure these people like you a lot. You do the same thing with D. Marinas. D. Marinas loves you.
Dude, he's a stud.
Yeah.
He is a funny texter.
I love Matty D.
Yeah. I don't know what it is. I try to put my finger on it so I can, like, pretend recreate it in someone else like it's really a thing that doesn't happen organically, and I don't know that.
He's like one of the only people.
But let's not try to recreate it.
He's like one of the only people who, like, you can pick up how his, like, dry sarcasm over text.
I think it's hilarious.
And I don't know if it's just because that's my default voice for him in my head.
Yeah.
But he's like one of the only people where I know exactly how sarcastic and snarky he's being right now.
I was today years old when I figured out just how young the chat is, the group text.
Oh, okay.
Today years old.
Why is that?
Well, last night years old.
Yeah.
Well, I'm talking about Jordan dropping 55 and 45, and you guys are giving me your recollection. I was like, oh my God, I'm talking to 4-year-olds.
Yeah. So my first experience with Jordan is 93. Like, I don't remember anything of the first three-peat except 93.
That's crazy. But yeah, it was on it. NBA TV has had some gems.
Yeah. If you're a big basketball nerd, like, they'll go through stretches where
the Hardwood Classics, and they've upped their game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, so they're adding, like, analysts and folks that actually played and stuff like that. And
they're almost doing like a commentary over
like
it.
like recap games. Yeah. Like, I'm watching Kevin McHale and Zeke or Isaiah Thomas, like, watch the 88 Eastern Conference Finals.
Yeah.
And I mean, Isaiah Thomas literally elbowed Kevin McHale in the lower back, and they're have headsets on watching
like,
the game
together,
like it didn't happen.
Yeah.
And Zeke was like, "Hey, man, that's just how that's how it was back then. I mean, that's how we played." And Kevin McHale, like, said a few borderline TV expletives. Like, it was cool.
I mean, let's not pretend like Kevin McHale didn't throw a few of those.
No, he was not a nice person.
Yeah.
Listen,
That's
man,
Kurt Rambis, how he's feeling.
So my man, he just kept it a buck too, because Robert Parrish kind of had an ailing knee, and he went out and is hyperextended, and he was already wearing a brace. And Kevin McHale was like, "Yeah, you never want to question one of your teammates' toughness, but real time, we're like, come on, Chief, like,
yeah,
it's not that bad, So, like, when you get to revisit something that happened, back then, you get to add. You can be like the real time, yeah.
You can be a little more honest about it.
I do that all the time. Like, man, that T-phrase, that guy sucked in Pasadena, man. I want to punch that guy in his soup coolers for getting me benched.
Like, wasn't really trying to hang out with that guy.
No, like, it wasn't me that got me benched.
Well,
isn't that funny?
It's a hindsight situation.
So
right?
how we feeling? Things good?
Oh, we're okay. Yeah.
My mom was terrified that I wasn't going to. She said, "Where are you? Are you okay? Everything good?" Did you have a relapse?
Did she check on me yesterday?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but I explained it.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Oh, there's just so much going on."
There's a lot going on. Yeah.
She's such a lover. I wish she'd have had nicer kids so she didn't waste it, but
well,
I like how she asked you if you had, like, a relapse, like, you're
you okay?
Like, it's a
I'm okay.
It's a stomach thing. It's not a drug thing.
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing?
Although there are some times. American Bandstand. Thank you, Fiasco.
We've had like 8 people be like, "Hey, it was American Bandstand."
I can't see the comments, but Lupe is my dude.
I should have helped you out. That's my bad.
I told him he came over yesterday. We were in the driveway. He was helping me.
Whole fiasco.
With a vehicle situation. He's such an optimist.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I was like, God, that is kind of how you are with everybody, because he was telling me that he had a neighbor that had passed away. And I was like, man, I said, that guy never said 2 words to me. And Lupe was like, oh, he loved me. I was like, weird. What's it like to be well liked? You know, and he's so cool. He kind of downplayed. He's like, no, I mowed his grass and cut his, just Lupe being Lupe.
Mm-hmm.
I needed some jumper cables, and he like walked him up the street. He called and he was like, hey, I got you. I was like, are you pulling up? He's like, no, I'm walking. But I told you he's kind of yoked for a veteran.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lupe don't play.
Yeah.
So he got ready to leave, and I was like, hey, save me a tequila. But I'm not. Your boy's not going to have any free time. This is my last weekend.
I was going to say,
we got early morning practice.
You're about to ramp this thing up,
we have
right?
Team pictures. Yeah, that's it. We have early morning practice. We have team pictures. And then that's it for the weekend, and we're like in full go.
Because game 1 is 28th?
Correct. So what I'm really trying to figure out is,
how are you navigating that Thursday, Friday?
I'll cry. I'm listen.
You're not gonna sleep at all.
Are we in a tree of trust?
Yeah, always.
Yeah, I'm terrified.
Just you and our 10,000 closest friends here.
So I got one shorty that's probably gonna make his first Metro start.
Mm-hmm.
Huge game. It's North. It's the opener. I got another one that's a part of my job.
Mm-hmm.
One of my jobs that I'm actually doing.
Yeah.
That I'm not gonna get to see. So I'm trying to work it out. I'll fly back with the team like I normally do, so I can come back on Friday and I need a baker.
Yeah.
Give the listeners the best that I got. Giving you the best that I got, baby. Then they're telling me. I have to do that because for every Clash and Thompson twins and pretty
what
that
got you.
I gotta keep it a buck and go back to my roots. Not the Toby Kunta. Knock it off.
I wasn't gonna say.
Oh, I've been gone one day. Let's see how I can be offensive so early.
Oh, do you want to tell a joke you told off the air? Or no, are we cool?
Definitely cool.
I think I got a little leeway today.
Definitely cool. Yeah, that was bad. And I don't apologize. No.
I was like, I don't care, but I think I got a little leeway now.
Yeah, I'm just serious. Suave probably left like, do they talk like that to each other all the time?
He's 1,000% worse.
I know.
He's just as bad.
I liked his little haircut, man. My man used like a T-square. He had the 490-degree angles.
We got to be on standout though, because the last few times he's cut his hair, something terrible's happened.
I know he didn't cut it enough though.
Are you sure? It was pretty tall.
It was misshapen.
It wasn't
a lot.
Okay.
It was misshapen.
I'm hoping my eyeball is the only victim of his haircut. Like, I'm hoping that's all it was.
So AJ and I had this talk yesterday. If you want to protect your good one,
yeah,
for you, after 15, 20 years, 20 years, I will switch sides if you want.
Okay. I'm okay. I can see you.
I'm okay.
But, if
my mom says that, she likes that little girl.
Yeah.
That's one of her favorite drops.
I do appreciate the offer.
Yeah, she mocked it. I forgot. We can just use her. We don't have to use the little Vine girl.
Oh my goodness.
But no, I'm okay for now. If I need to, I appreciate the offer, but I'll let you know.
So what was I saying before I sidetracked myself?
About trying to navigate that Thursday, Friday.
Yeah. So if anybody, I don't mean anybody, like if you have good hygiene and you have enough room in your vehicle and you don't talk a ton and you're leaving after 6 p.m. on Wednesday.
And you'll let him do the music.
No, 2 hours and 25 minutes. I will shut my mouth and be grateful that I have a ride. There's just one thing I can't overcome, and that's obnoxious smells.
Sure. What?
Anything else I can put up
So
with.
you're trying to leave? You want to leave Wednesday?
Yeah. So I want to do our walkthrough. I want to
Mm.
make sure that, because, I mean, I could fly with, but they're leaving at whatever time they leave. There's no sense. Why do I want to go sit at a place that I practically live and do nothing?
You mean Kansas City?
While my high school team
Is doing
is
their
going through
walkthrough.
their walkthrough for their opener and what is going to be a huge game. So I would prefer to leave late. Like, I want to go through the walkthrough, do the team dinner.
Like Wednesday night?
Rally my guys. But we go early. So, like, if you said, hey, DB.
So you do the walkthrough Wednesday, not Thursday?
We play Thursday.
Oh, that's right. I forgot you're doubled up.
Yeah, because somebody wouldn't move the game.
Come on, Omaha North.
No, it's not their fault. Unless they're sandbagging me, it's not on North.
Okay.
It's not on North.
I take it back.
And I mean, they could just be like, yeah, we don't want that guy on your sidelines.
Not helping you out at all.
Advantage us.
Yeah.
No, but the gate will be smaller. Like, they should have just moved the game.
Yeah. I mean, nobody's going to be at high school football games that Thursday.
But, you know,
I'm sorry.
Northwest plays the following day, and logistically, it would have been tough. And I'm not so sure that North and West Side should have been playing at 4 o'clock on a Friday. I mean, logistically, it wasn't easy. I get it. But, man, HBO.
I mean, who's Northwest playing?
I think they have Lincoln Northeast, maybe.
Like, you can't just flip-flop the days?
I mean, maybe I'm talking too much. I don't know. Fudge, I just left you. What do you want? Where do you think I was going?
He knows you're at work, right?
And he ain't listening because, man.
You're not about that?
No, IT locks it down at the high school.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you can't get out to anywhere.
Really? That's a bummer.
I don't even know why they put the technology in their name.
Yeah. They're shutting it down.
I mean, like Fort Knoxie.
Hate to see it.
I don't even think you can take your phones in the bathroom.
Really?
It's kind of weird over there.
Man.
But anyway, so like if you're like, hey, DB, I'll drop you off at, your hotel and,
Because the team's going out a little earlier. Nebraska's.
So I would guess, it's still tentative. I would guess their departure time will be their departure time. They leave about the same time for every game. Now, this is by far the closest game they've played.
Yeah. And probably the latest start time the next day, right? They haven't played at 8 o'clock yet.
Correct.
So, never know.
Correct.
But probably not enough to help you
So
out.
ideally, I would get a ride down Wednesday night. Let's get to my hotel, do my thing. Thursday, I have the morning, so we'll work out the show however you want to do it. And then I'll come back with the team Thursday night. So it'll be late. Then we'll turn around and do the show. I'll go back to work Friday morning.
There you go. Back in action.
I mean, it's not like I'm asleep anyway.
Yeah.
I would prefer to not have the drive back.
Yeah, flying back's better.
I'm trying to talk Keith Mann into waiting for me.
Oh, with the plane?
No. He's going to drive down Wednesday.
Oh, he's driving down
But he'll probably want to leave about the same. I mean, you need your SID.
Yeah.
I'm like, Captain, do they? You can wait. Right now with your boy. Like, I'll give you real-time headaches as opposed to just phone calls.
Yeah.
He's probably, you know what he probably said, and he's so cool. He's probably like, do I really want to be in an enclosed vehicle with that dude for 2 hours and 30 minutes where I can't just say shut up?
I mean, he could.
I'm not going to talk unless spoken to, so you don't have to worry about that with me.
It's all good.
Yeah.
It's all good in the hood.
So I'm trying to work it out, man.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. I'm sure somebody was going down.
Yeah, open practice today. You excited?
Yeah, always.
But you're not going.
No.
If you want to slide down and you want me to do this and sit here, I will.
No, I'm okay.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
You keep saying I'm okay.
I'm okay.
It's not the little girl. I feel like more like Jelly Roll, where he's like, I am not okay.
I'm okay.
I'm barely getting by.
I just got to turn my head a little bit more.
Losing track of days. Losing sleep at night.
What day is it? Around Tuesday?
And I know that I can be the only one.
Better be careful. Shane's gonna get nervous. You're gonna give him an FCC fine. He keeps singing.
Man, that's the most scaredy cat.
That's a secret.
That's the most scaredy cat fictitious thing you're afraid of all the things that annoy me about you.
No, this has been a great segment, by the way. Actually, the host show has been great. You know why?
Why?
Because I've had 2 first segments.
Oh, yeah, I guess in theory.
In theory, which first segment's always my favorite.
Nice. Glad I could just come and waste a lot of time. Are you excited for the podium today?
I am
You
always.
don't get Coach Snow a ton.
I know. I'm interested to listen to him.
Yeah.
Interested to see what he thinks.
I hope people ask him good questions because, in the words of the famous Coach Matt Rhule, he can't not say what's on his mind.
Yeah. Those are actually guys that can give you a lot.
Yeah. So I hope we're locked in to pick Coach Snow's brain.
Should we text Avery? I think she's down there. Should we feed her some questions?
He's gonna keep it a buck.
I mean, I'm sure she's got good ones on her own, but
Hey, you'll figure all this out.
maybe we should.
Did you not read the group text yesterday? She's clearly a thinker.
Yeah, no, I know.
I'm like, am I even smart anymore?
What do you mean?
Were you not reading the depth of the thoughts?
No, I was. She was getting after it.
I'm like,
And I'm like,
whoa. When was that?
I think that was last football season.
Well, she was like, what, Shane?
What the F are you doing?
Oh, I didn't hear that. I haven't
don't
heard that one,
remember that one either.
You're just like,
No, that was the last time she was on.
oh, I wasn't. I was
Oh yeah,
gone.
that was with AJ, I think.
Was I in where was I? Camp or Lincoln?
Camp, I think. I think that was a camp one.
Camp.
and I'm like,
I think we're camp.
Yeah.
listen here, guys.
Whoa.
Getting a little serious
A little
there, Abe.
feisty, Abe.
I love Madison.
As in Wisconsin?
That was last year, yeah. I gave her a hard time for that one. She also said she was a big fan of Boulder. So
I do love Boulder. I really love Boulder.
I'm gonna be. Madison sucks.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan. I've got other reasons.
I love it.
though.
Do you remember me talking to you after that visit?
Yeah.
I was terrified.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my God, this might be worse than Iowa.
You're like, I think they got him.
Well, they're so good.
Yeah.
I mean,
When that was that Fickle staff?
yeah. He just got there.
Yeah.
And I was watching the three quarterbacks, and I was like, man, Mordecai's pretty legit.
Yeah.
I like the way they practice, too. And they were so I could see them actually being good recruiters.
I could, too.
I mean,
he recruited well at Cincinnati.
I'm sure they're going to have to win, but I could see them being very good recruiters.
I almost wonder,
I like their recruiting coordinator, too. He was a stud.
I do try and figure out when there's coaches that I like or that I think are good, and it's not going well. Obviously, it's not going that well in Wisconsin right now. I do wonder if just it got off.
Let me ask you something.
Yeah.
If he wouldn't have had the snafu with his OC 3/4 of the way through the season, would you think differently about Fickle? Or was it how he handled that transition in the presser that gave you your opinion?
So both. I think it's both.
Because everybody kind of has a defining moment, right?
Yeah.
And that was the first time he had gotten rid of a coordinator.
Yeah.
But before, you know what I mean? So I'm not saying you're wrong.
Yeah.
I'm just, I'm like, stuff happens.
Well, and I think a lot of it is you can, if you have.
By the way, do I smell like outside? I tried to freshen up for you.
No.
I used my it's, that's important to me.
Yeah.
We good?
Yeah.
Don't matter to me.
I think we're good. Yeah. No issues. I got you.
Man. OCD kicking in. If I'd have stopped home and showered again, would you have allowed you? You took 2 showers by 4 a.m.?
I would not have been surprised.
All right, thank you.
I would not have been surprised. It was no. I think there's things that can happen early on in a tenure, whether it's a coach or a player or whoever, that can set a tone, positive or negative, for the way we feel about a guy, and that doesn't really change who the guy is, right?
Yeah, because we've seen some coaches overcome it.
Yeah.
Sark has had some notorious press conferences, right?
And
we don't even remember.
No, we don't.
How about Kiffin?
Yeah, I mean Kiffin's right now. We're just like,
how about Kiffin in Tennessee?
It's just Lane being Lane.
You know what I mean? So we've seen
guys overcome it.
A
lot of times it's hard to overcome it at the place you're at, like at the place where it happens.
Good point.
I don't know if Lane would overcome it at Tennessee.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And Sark had left.
Yeah. I don't
SC.
know if Sark would have overcame it at SC.
That's a good point.
I don't know. Like there's sometimes it's just people can't get over a narrative, and I think it's going to be really challenging for Luke Fickell at this point. Like I think we're pretty far down the path of what people in Wisconsin think of him, even if he still is a really good football coach, right? Like, and it's totally different than, let's say, He's not a good example because he got fired for other stuff. Like Charlie Weiss.
Were you going to say Hugh Freeze?
I was going to say Mel Tucker.
Okay.
Because Mel Tucker got off to a really good start at Michigan State. So he
didn't really have any snafus outside of what got him fired up until then, like how he handled a situation.
Right.
Though.
So that's why I think Weiss is a better example because he got off to a great start at Notre Dame.
Are you talking about post the fall of the film recording guy? What snafu did he have?
Well, I think people just, after they started to struggle, they just didn't really like the way he carried himself.
So I'm saying two different things, right?
Okay.
So with Fickle, it's not so much the resume because clearly we've kind of formed our opinion on how he handled the end of last season.
Right.
Most of it is what he said to us.
Yes.
The public.
Yeah. My point
That's
is.
what I'm talking about. Because we've seen some debacles and again, Kiffin.
So I think we forget how bad Charlie Weiss was in press conferences when they started to struggle. My point is, if you have that one random really good season first, you actually get way more leeway.
You know a good case study will be?
Who's that?
A great case study. A 2-time Coach of the Year case study. Same place where he's had the snafus is Kelly at LSU.
Oh, yeah.
Has not handled some rough patches.
And I don't think he's going to make it through it.
At Baton Rouge extremely well,
Yeah.
and he's still there.
Yeah, I don't think he's making it through it, though.
Can
I really
he
don't.
win enough to change what the perception is about him not being a good – because that's the narrative right now. We can agree on that, right?
Bad fit. That's the narrative. He's a bad culture fit.
Can he win enough to change that narrative?
Same narrative about Luke Fickell. Bad culture fit in Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Right? Didn't understand what they were about. Didn't understand
and those guys are still at their respective jobs.
Yes. I think –
Is there another one out there? Those are probably the most high profile.
Those are Kelly's a great example because I think it's the exact same situation.
Because even with DeBoer, it hasn't been anything how he's handled a situation.
Just he's not Nick Saban.
Yeah, so
that's it. Like he has.
So I'll keep him out of it.
Yeah, I think DeBoer is a totally different issue. I don't know that there's another one.
Those are two pretty good ones.
Yeah, and I honestly don't think either of them make it at their current school.
Really?
I don't think either of them
You
survive.
see the benefit of the doubt LSU is getting with the AP poll.
I understand that. That's part of the problem, though, too, right? Is if they don't now live up to the expectation that is we've already done my thing on preseason polls, right? But if they don't live up to this expectation that's been set for them now, then it's even worse for Kelly.
Because we're really saying top 10ish.
Yeah. Which he has to make the playoff this year. If he doesn't make college football playoff, he's getting fired.
Was that you or AJ I asked when I said Notre Dame can't be making a playoff run again and LSU not, and Kelly keep his job?
100%.
Okay.
That is not if that happens, he's gone.
Notre Dame played for a national championship.
Yeah. At a place that Brian Kelly famously left because he didn't think you could play for national championships.
And he trashed on the way out the door.
Yes. It's like, I don't think you can play for national championships there. Maybe you can't, Brian. Marcus can.
Is that funny, Shay? He's so stinking cute.
I might have chuckled.
Like if Freeman takes Notre Dame to another playoff with another different quarterback and having lost a bunch of guys from that roster last year, but a really good running game, going to have a really good defense again, I assume.
Speaking of handling the media to the bad and being able to overcome, how much do you think, if it happens, Coach Rhule changes if Nebraska wins?
You mean how he handles us?
Yeah.
I don't think a lot. I think the same the thing that you keep talking about with the way they've recruited and how, hey, they're putting everything in place that as soon as they start to win, it's just keep on rolling. I think it's the same thing with the media. I think he's set expectations. I think he's acted as though he's already winning, and he's set sort of the tone of what.
And we kind of know we know his personality too, just because he's been so authentic.
Yeah, he's super authentic.
So anything that deviates, we would
notice. Yeah. And I fully expect.
Because it's almost like he's recalibrated from preseason, spring, year 3 Coach Rhule, kind of back to being Coach Rhule. We thought we may get year 3.
A little bit more.
I have to reintroduce myself to Coach Rhule.
He seemed a little bit more reserved in the spring, a little bit more. Not, I don't know the right word for it. Maybe not quite as open. in the spring?
I kind of think it was just the opposite, right?
You think so?
Well, we saw the stuff in the social media and, defending the program. And he is a little more clapbacky.
Okay, fair.
Right?
Where was the period? Because he had a stretch. It might not have been spring. He had a stretch where it seemed like he was maybe a little bit I don't know if annoyed's the right word, but like there were some narratives out there that it seemed like.
Yeah.
So it seemed,
and he addressed them head on.
So that's kind of the version I was talking about. If we're like, he said a couple times like, oh, maybe there's certain things I can't say to you guys without it becoming a thing. Was that the end of last year or was that spring?
The spring.
Okay. So that's kind of the version of him I was thinking about.
Yeah, that's
but
that's not.
Maybe
I wouldn't call that. What's the first adjective you used? He had
reserved.
That's not reserved. I think that was more gas pedaling.
I thought he was preparing.
He looked like a guy that was fully prepared to demonstrate what he wants his team to do, and that's defend the culture in year 3.
Yeah,
he looks prime for a guy like that.
Which I see that now in the moment. What I thought it was he was
he's
preparing
annoyed.
To give us less.
Yeah.
He's like,
he's about to pull
hey,
the plug.
you guys can't handle some of the things I'm telling you. You guys aren't able to have a mature conversation when I give you information. We're going to give you less. That's what I thought it was going to be in real time. Now, once it played out, you're right. It turned out, hey, this is how we're defending our program, whether it's locally, whether it's nationally, whether it's inside the same house. That's how it ended up being. But there was a moment early spring where I was like, he's going to stop giving us stuff.
Yeah. No, he's just so competitive.
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to cave.
Yeah.
Now, I could see, because he's really crafty and he's super smart, I could see some subliminal I told you so's. Right? Because remember, he's the same guy when he had the presser after Indiana, and we were kind of like, oh my gosh, is he throwing in the towel? And he reiterated, this is what you get when you hired me.
Yeah.
He did it then to the bad. I could see him doing it again to the good because it's just really who he is.
Yeah. No, I tend to agree. And that's kind of, when you ask the question, that's kind of why I go to, I think we're basically going to get the same version of Matt Rhule, right? I think this is who he is. This is who he wants to be. He's been preparing us as though Nebraska's a winning program already, right? Whether it's in recruiting, whether it's in the way he talks to us, I think he's setting us up for, hey, this is how we're going to operate. Same way he says players up. Hey, I know we haven't won yet. This is how winning programs operate. This is what we're going to do. This is how we do things.
It's going to be interesting.
Let's take a quick break here.
Yeah, let's take one.
We're going to talk to Mike Grimm at 8:45.
Big Grimm guy.
He is on the Minnesota Golden Gopher radio network. We're going to preview Minnesota football. Then at 9 o'clock you'll actually be here for Mike Schaefer. He's going to be so excited.
Yeah, so as much as I talked to him over text,
I think it's been like a month.
It's incredible. I haven't talked to him in a month on the show.
So he'll be excited.
Like, I'm beginning to think you got something again. Oh, man, I talk to you every other day. We're good.
We'll get to both of our guests here coming up quick. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla. Hurrdat Sports Live.
We're in the neighborhood, just down the street. With a wide variety of home equity products to help you create a relaxing oasis. So you can kick back and relax in comfort. Centrist Federal Credit Union. We are where you are.
I thought we were really efficient on offense. I thought we were able to both run the ball and throw the ball. The one caveat to that is that when the quarterback's not live, sometimes guys are blitzing and running by, and I'm saying stay off them. So, to stop a guy like Dylan, you're going to have to get to the quarterback and affect the quarterback. So there's probably a lot of plays where, guys are blitzing, they have to pull up. And I just think on defense, a lot of good things being done on defense. I just think we have to continue to tackle. We have some elite running backs, and it's really hard to tackle those guys. And so our tackling is something that has to improve based upon, we did a Wednesday short yardage live period and today's live period. And we just need those reps. You know, it's the first week of tackling. We're going to have to really improve that this week. You think about it, really, 5 more practices till training camp is over, and 9 practices until we start game week. So when I say over, like next Saturday, kind of, as you get in the next week, you start a little bit of game planning for 4 days and then game planning full out. So we have a real sense of urgency, and I think tackling is probably the main thing. And then we got some punt, we got some field goals. Really pleased with the field goal operation today. And it looked like the punt, I've never enjoyed punt periods in my life, but it's my favorite period of practice right now. I just could watch Archie punt all day.
You're listening to Hurrdat Sports Live.
Welcome back, Hurrdat Sports Live. That's BBM Ravi Rhule here at Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill. Whether you're looking for lighthearted advice from vetted experts or want to learn on your own, Central Federal Credit Union has the financial education resources for you right at your fingertips. From their podcast, A Penny or Two for You, for your thoughts, to their financial education center, and Rich, to their social media channels. Centrus Federal Credit Union has you covered no matter what you're trying to learn. Check out centrusfcu.org/education to get a glimpse into all their resources for you. Federally insured by NCUA.
Hey, so Action Jackson is driving down with his Sig Fig.
AJ?
Lay terms. Austin Jacobsen is driving down with his significant other.
Thank you.
Her name would be Katie.
We like to call her Dr. Girlfriend.
Is that okay?
Oh, I was just trying to make sure I knew who you were talking about.
I think it's much more efficient to say AJ is driving down with his Sig Fig.
I know, but you didn't say AJ. You said Action Jackson, and so I didn't actually know who that was.
Oh, I forgot. Heaven forbid you listen to the show when you're not here. I mean, maybe you were having stuff done where you couldn't focus.
I was a little preoccupied. I apologize.
Yeah, I don't appreciate the delay in response to the text messages either.
So
gotta keep watering the bamboo.
Yes, we do, DR.
Part of the problem was,
do I want to ride with Action Jackson and Sig Fig?
It'd probably be all right. It's not going to be quiet.
No, because then he's telling me about coming back from Adams and the family deal, and they're listening to the press conference and how they're going back and forth. And I'm like, man, you guys are doing too much.
You might have to headphone it. If you're
I don't mind having a significant other that rocks with sports, but when you start dropping, man, they should have played 2 instead of 3, and why is he on that man beater? I'm probably out. I mean, I'm just saying.
People actually ask me that a lot. Like, I like that Natasha doesn't like sports. Like, I kind of enjoy it.
So let me tell you the downside of it, though.
Yeah.
Is if you don't have the capabilities to turn off whatever it is that you like about sports. So for me, super competitive. I like details. I like the methodology.
Yeah.
I'm all about process. I'm not and if you get that through sports, staying in the moment.
Yeah.
No panic. I don't understand what anxiety is. Like, there's just things that are kind of foreign to me.
Yeah.
So if you can filter that, knowing that whomever it is that you're swapping spit with is,
I just wasn't expecting you to go there.
Go Big Red.
You're such
We're
a
moving right on.
square.
We're moving right on.
Whomever it is that you're romantically thinking about, that you enjoy spending free time with. I mean, Jiminy Christmas, bro. What are we doing?
You just caught me off guard. You caught me off guard.
Well, not everybody's married, so I couldn't say that.
Yeah, no, I get it. It's cool. It's cool.
And you clearly didn't understand Sig Fig. So
I thought it was a frat term.
So I went to swapping spit.
It's all good.
If you can turn that off, it's cool that they don't understand sports.
Have that, but it's from something else. Like Natasha's.
Is she competitive?
Yeah.
Well, then it's fine.
Yeah. Well, chefs are like that. Chefs are kind of like that. So it's a whole other thing.
Hey, Cookie, line 2, get your ass in gear.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, Natasha, you good? Yeah, just being competitive.
No,
is that about right?
I mean, yeah, like she wants to beat other people, like that do the same stuff that she does.
Hey, we got 7 tickets in the window. Feel free to keep up. We good?
Like she's made
right?
She's made people cry that couldn't hack it.
Man, really?
Yeah.
It's that look.
It's the steely eyes, you know.
Yeah, hey, that's a good term for the. It's like blue grays, man. It's like, have you killed someone?
She, honestly, like
she reminds her the look. She reminds me of the terrible Thor movie, Shane, Dark World. She reminds me of that bad dude. He was in the Justice League one too. You know, he has like the cold blue eyes.
Yeah.
That's who she reminds me of.
Yeah. I mean, she's competitive.
Yeah, I'm sure she stared a hole in your soft soul.
Be like, what'd I do?
Yeah, so much for getting to Coach Rhule's talent evaluating.
We can get to that. We got plenty of time. We got Mike Schaefer. We got the rest of 9 o'clock hour.
I'm going to ask Schaefer.
Yeah, we should ask Schaefer.
I'm going to ask Schaefer about the new faces in other places and how they're having prominent roles at other schools.
I like it.
Can we stop, like, hand-wringing over how Nebraska recruits? They're clearly pretty good at evaluating.
Bringing the hands. Coming up next, Mike Grimm. He is part of the radio network for the Minnesota Golden Gophers. Let's preview some Minnesota football coming up next year on Hurrdat Sports Live.
We're in the neighborhood, just down the street. With a wide variety of home equity products to help you create a relaxing oasis. So you can kick back and relax in comfort. Centris Federal Credit Union. We are where you are.
I thought we were really efficient on offense. I thought we were able to both run the ball and throw the ball. The one caveat to that is that when the quarterback's not live, you know, sometimes guys are blitzing and running by, and I'm saying stay off them. So, you know, to stop a guy like Dylan, you're going to have to get to the quarterback and affect the quarterback. So there's probably a lot of plays where, you know, guys are blitzing, they have to pull up. And I just think on defense, a lot of good things being done on defense. I just think we have to continue to tackle. We have some elite running backs, and it's really hard to tackle those guys. And so our tackling is something that has to improve based upon we did a Wednesday short yardage live period and today's live period, and we just need those reps. You know, it's the first week of tackling. We're going to have to really improve that this week. You think about it, really, 5 more practices till training camp is over, and 9 practices until we start game week. So when I say over, like next Saturday, kind of, as you get in the next week, you start a little bit of game planning for 4 days and then game planning full out. So we have a real sense of urgency, and I think tackling is probably the main thing. And then we got some punt, we got some field goals. Really pleased with the field goal operation today. And it looked like the punt. I've never enjoyed punt periods in my life, but it's my favorite period of practice right now. I just could watch Archie punt all day.
You're listening to Hurrdat Sports Live.
90% of what we have is in, and to go out there and execute the offense, defense, special teams. I mean, we did a ton of special teams live today. We're so far ahead because it just shows their work in the offseason, January all the way through July. I've told them this, as I really respect this team. They do better when you put more in front of them. They do better when you're playing football and not just running plays, but playing football. They're a really fun team to coach. It's, again, 6 days in, but I really respect what they've been able to put in so far. It's been really, really impressive.
Welcome back, Hurrdat Sports Live, presented by Centrist Federal Credit Union. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill. We are joined now by Mike Grimm, the play-by-play voice for Minnesota football. Mike, how are you this morning?
Hey, doing great. Yeah, we're just about ready for football, aren't we? We're getting there.
Yeah, Mike, good to hear from you. Looking forward to seeing you in the booth when we come down. Hopefully, you guys will be gracious hosts. But I want to get right to it. This is I'm gonna need you for levity to balance me out because I've been in trouble. I'm getting in trouble. I've gotten my wrist slapped. The fan base is not happy with me since February. My partner's laughing already. I am one of these guys, and it's not because of the 5 in a row. It's not because anything other than I actually think Minnesota's going to be pretty good, right? I know how they recruit. They've recruited a guy in my house really hard. I know the philosophy. I like the roster. How many is the sentiment inside the program that this team is much better than the national media thinks they are?
I think so. I think they always play with a chip on their shoulder. I think their head coach has talked about that a lot. It kind of sets the tone with that because he's always had people doubt him all the way from when he was, a 5'10" wide receiver at Northern Illinois. So I think they always play with the chip, always think they're better than what others think they are. And look, they've got a chance to have a pretty good season. I don't think there's any doubt about that. They've got some question marks here and there, but so does everybody, right? Everyone's got a few places where you wonder, did the transfer portal help that area? They're going to go with the kid out of high school in that area. Will that work? But yeah, I think they got a chance to be pretty good. I'd be shocked if they weren't at least in the top half. And right now, they're the national media picked them at 11. I think it was right when the Cleveland newspaper does their national thing. So I think they're better than 11. I don't think I doubt we see them in the championship game of the Big Ten postseason either. But I think they're a bowl team. I think they're a solid team. I think anyone who comes into Minnesota and wins will have earned it. And that's how I classify it.
Mike, it's a blade cuts two ways, right? So for all the chips and anger and, hey, bulletin board material of not being ranked in the top 25, the schedule, if you just look at it, the numbers the other way is the schedule seems favorable in terms of playing ranked teams. Can you have your cake and eat it too when you look at the preseason top 25?
Yeah, it's a good question. I've seen that a few different places. I don't think it's that favorable, quite frankly. I mean, depending on what your goal is, if your goal is to get to a bowl game and win 6, beautiful. You're going to do that probably with this schedule. But you're probably at 2 losses right off the top. At Oregon, at Ohio State, those are 2 playoff teams from last year who are going to be in the playoffs this year. You're not going to win those 2 probably. Then you play at Iowa. You're 1-11.
Those are the ranked ones that you mentioned early, right?
Yeah, and then now you've got Nebraska at home, Wisconsin at home. Those aren't any picnics. You play a Northwestern team at a baseball stadium in November, Wrigley Field. You never know about that. Who knows? I mean, it could be 9 below zero and windy.
Why are these guys so close to me on this sideline?
Yeah, exactly. So I don't actually think it's I think it's a fine schedule. Could it be worse? Of course. They don't have Penn State, they don't have USC, they don't have Michigan. But that's the life of the Big Ten. Outside of Wisconsin, who has just this killer brutal schedule. I mean, if Wisconsin doesn't bring it every week, they could finish with 4 wins maybe, right? I mean, that thing is, because their non-conference includes a trip to Alabama, which it won't be real friendly probably. Nebraska probably has a little easier schedule, I think, right? I mean, they could easily roll into Minnesota unbeaten or with 1 loss. in middle October. So they've got an opportunity, I think, to rack up some wins as well. So, but you're right. The question then becomes, okay, so what's the goal? Where do you got to be? I think Vegas has the Minnesota over/under at 6.5. I would think the over is the play there. I'm not a gambling man, but I think that it's better than that. You also have an interesting dynamic, I think, even within the market here, in that I think the outside world really likes what PJ Fleck has done. I mean, look, people have their issues with him. They think he's quirky and all that stuff. Look, being around him, he's one of the favorite people I've ever dealt with. So just from my standpoint, I love the guy. That said, within the market, he has kind of made it boring here. They won 9, they won 8, they won 8. They took a dip 2 years ago. They're back to 8. If you'd have said, 15 years ago, hey, Minnesota's going to go win 9, they're going to win 8, they're going to win 8, they're going to win 8, you'd be like, man, we'll take that. Well, now it's like, when's he going to break through? When's he going to break through? And there is this little bit of weird enough. He's been here. This is his 9th year. And I'm not saying he's got to win 10 or he's in trouble. I don't believe that. I mean, he is the right guy for this spot. There's no question about it.
Got the extension too, right?
And he got an extension. And look, there's reasons for all of that. I mean, he is outside the program. He is looked at as like they look at it. People that know college football look at it and say, God, look what that guy's done at Minnesota. He knows what he's doing, and he does, as you had mentioned earlier. But at the end of the day, they had the breakout in 2019 with 11 wins. Had there been a 16-team playoff, like there's probably going to be here in a couple of years, they're probably in at that with that mark at 11-1, or at the 10-2, and then they won the bowl game against Auburn to get to the 11 wins. But a 10-win Big Ten team's probably going to make the playoff almost all the time when it gets to 16. So the question is, can you have another one of those years? I don't know if it'll be this year, but I think at a place like Minnesota and others, I think everyone's kind of got to readjust with this new landscape, right? Mm-hmm. What the Rose Bowl as we know it. I grew up loving the Rose Bowl. That was such a glamorous thing. You look at that doesn't exist as we knew it. So now the playoffs become the goal, I think. And so can you make a run every now and then? And I think that's the next step here for PJ Fleck and the Gophers, is to make a run. I don't know if it'll be this year. They got a redshirt freshman quarterback. I think it's hard with a redshirt freshman quarterback to go win 10 and make a run at the playoffs. But that doesn't mean it's not around the corner at some point here.
Mike, so talk to me about that redshirt freshman quarterback. Obviously, Drake Lindsey, you lose a lot of experience at that spot going from last year to this year. He, if I'm correct, only threw 5 passes last year during his redshirt season. What does it look like for Minnesota? From the outside looking in, seems like an offense that PJ Fleck has been able to navigate, maybe not always having incredible quarterback play. What do you think they do with Drake Lindsey this year?
Yeah, I think that is going to be one of the fun things to follow. Look, you're right. He threw 5 passes last year. However, 1 was for a touchdown. So if he throws a touchdown every 5 attempts, think how good they'll be. I mean, how about that? No, I think anyone will take that. Yeah, that'd be pretty great. So the question becomes, how much will the coaching staff put trust in the quarterback? They love him. I mean, they absolutely love him. Look, they did not. Remember last year they went and got Max Brosmer from New Hampshire. They went out, they recruited him. PJ said it's the only time in his career where he went and told a kid, "You're my starter. You don't have to win the job. We need a quarterback. We got a true freshman and not much else. You're going to come in. You don't have to compete for it. It's your job." And Max Brosmer proved him right. He was really good. Now he has a real good chance of making the Minnesota Vikings. He just threw a touchdown in a preseason game on Saturday. So they could have done that again, right? They could have gone out. They don't have oceans of NIL money, but they have enough. They could have gone and gotten a quarterback. They chose not to. They got a kid from Georgia Tech who ended up here for a semester. They got a kid from Old Dominion, but those are really just depth guys in case you run through a bunch of quarterbacks. They knew that Drake Lindsey was the guy, so that tells me that they like him. I've watched him at practice. He's got all the skill you need. I do believe it's a big question mark, but I don't think it's because of skill. His arm's great. He shapes the ball beautifully. He's tall. He's 6'4", 6'5", moves pretty well. I mean, he's not Lamar Jackson, but I think he can step up in the pocket. I think he can avoid a sack and extend a play. So now the question becomes, okay, I think they like how he studies film. He was at attached at the hip of Max Brosmer last year, so he understands the process. So it all really comes down. The question to me isn't skill. It isn't anything else. The question is, how does he handle some really good Big Ten defenses? I mean, here's a kid that 2 years ago is taking his team to the Arkansas State Championship in football in high school, and now he's got to go play at Ohio State. He's got to go play at Oregon at Kinnick Stadium. He's got to figure out a way to beat Nebraska here. He's got to beat Wisconsin here if everything, wants to go the way you want it to go. So that's a lot on a kid who has, as you said, thrown 5 passes in his career. But they love him. The question is, will he handle it? Get the ball on target on time, read the defense right, get him in the right formations, understand everything that needs to be understood. If he's good, this team has a chance to be really good.
That's the Golden Gopher voice, Mike Grimm. Mike, I know you got to run. Let me ask you a quickie here. If given the druthers, your druthers, if Minnesota's going to be who they need to be, is it the development of guys like Malachi Coleman and some of these unproven wide receivers, but behind what I think is quietly a pretty good, not oft thought about top 2, or finding depth behind the Easterns, the Logans, the Reddings along the D-line? If Minnesota's going to go where they need to be, is it the development of the wide receiver core or depth behind the proven top 3-ish of that defensive line?
Can I choose option C?
Give me one.
I think the 2 biggest keys for the team will be the development of Lindsey. If, like I said, if he's good, they'll be good at quarterback. If he's just okay, they'll be just okay. And if he plays like a lot of redshirt freshmen play and not very good and throws some bad interceptions, then they're going to have, they could have some weeks where they struggle. Outside defense, the cornerbacks, they had Justin Wally and Ethan Robinson. They were pretty good last year. Like, Wally was a 3rd-round draft pick. He had won the job at Indianapolis, or was at least competing for the starting job with the Colts, and then blew out his knee in the first preseason game. Just a terrible injury. He had been fairly durable here, and then Ethan Robinson's getting a chance. I forget where he's at, the Chargers or someplace, as an undrafted guy. They have, they have nobody. Zaquan Bryant has 2 career starts. That, for the most part, is it. And I think we forget how important cornerback play is to, as you mentioned, those guys up front.
I think the assumption is Collins has been so good as the longest tenured guy that you guys just crank out good secondaries, and we know Parrish is the cleanup guy behind him. So I agree with you there.
Yeah, I think the good news is they've got unbelievable talent at safety, and they're going to do some tinkering. They're going to have some formations that we'll not know about, and they'll probably use some of those safeties as slot corners at times because they do have some skill. I mean, Parrish could really play anywhere. And by the way, we haven't even talked about the fact Parrish is probably going to play 15 or 20 plays on offense. Every game
I saw him
with
the split jersey. I was thinking to myself, oh, that's interesting.
But to go back to quickly the other part, I'm comfortable with their receivers. They have a transfer from Miami of Ohio who was first team All-MAC.
Yep.
I think Nebraska's got a guy from the MAC too, right? I think that I think that's fine. Those guys are going to be okay. They got Logan Loya, who was a handful for the Gophers last year when the Gophers played out at UCLA. I couldn't believe that all of a sudden that guy became available. Great, kind of a possession guy, finds openings in the zone. So those 2 guys, along with Lemeki Brockington, they have a ton of starts. And then, as you mentioned, they've got Malachi Coleman, who came in from Nebraska. They've got an emerging guy who has torn up camp, a kid named Jalen Smith. He's from Mankato, Minnesota.
That's the guy I'm watching right there.
Yeah,
right there.
I mean, he's been unbelievable. He had a 65-yard and a 70-yard touchdown last Tuesday. I'm actually practice here. As soon as I hang up with you guys, I got to go visit a doctor quick, as a guy my age now has to do on occasion, and then I'm heading to watch practice. And so we'll see what else happens. But I'm pretty comfortable with the receiver group right now. And up front defensively, they brought in a kid from Stony Brook. I think they're okay there too. And Danny Collins, you're right. I mean, it's his first year of calling the defense, and we'll see where it takes him. But I feel pretty good. If this team, like I said, on offense, clearly Lindsey's the key. I think so it's quarterback and cornerback. If I could put 2 keys to, if they want to get to where they want to get, if those 2 areas are really good, then I think the Golden Gophers are going to be really good.
Appreciate your time. Thanks for sneaking us in, Mike.
Yeah, always enjoy it. Thank you.
That's Mike Grimm, play-by-play voice for Minnesota. We will return with Mike Schaefer, Husker 24/7, right here on Hurrdat Sports Live.
We're in the neighborhood, just down the street. With a wide variety of home equity products to help you create a relaxing oasis. So you can kick back and relax in comfort. Centris Federal Credit Union. We are where you are.
You're listening to Hurrdat Sports Live, covering Nebraska football and recruiting for 24/7 Sports. Here is Mike J. Schaefer.
Yeah, that's a grown-ass man right there.
Mike Schaefer.
I don't know. There could be bacon involved.
Mike Schaefer.
I appreciate it, guys. Thank Brian Edwards for me.
Here is Mike Schaefer.
Kicking off hour number 3 here on Hurrdat Sports Live, presented by Centris Federal Credit Union. That's DBM Ravi Lulla. We are joined now by Mike Schaefer, Husker 24/7. Schaefer, what's going on, bud?
Oh, just in the final hours of living in Lincoln here. Can't do the video podcast as I don't really have anywhere that I can sit or set up or, do anything. I guess I could we've been eating our meals on the floor lately.
Yeah.
Convinced Hudson it's just like a picnic. So I could have done that. That would have been an interesting angle for everybody.
I'm just telling you, deep down, he's probably thinking, about time you guys got on my level. I've been doing this for a year. Where you guys been?
Yeah, he's surprisingly the most adept at not having furniture to sit on or, really caring about anything else. So for him, everything's just, it's just like a fun day at daycare for him every time he's at home now.
For a guy that has mastered coming across is indifferent about other people, but being beloved because of it. Growing up in the mean streets of Columbus, have you allowed yourself to think, wow, these Omaha guys are really excited that I'm coming back, and I have no idea why. But, man, it's good to be loved.
I mean, I'm generally bewildered why anyone expresses enthusiasm about anything that I do. So, yes, I think that's a fair statement. More than anything, I'm fascinated because it's been 20 years really since I've lived anywhere else. I'm fascinated by the dynamic of starting over somewhere new. And even though it's not that new because I spend enough time in Omaha, but it's still just going to be different. Finding the places that I go. Where do I get my gas? What do I, what does that routine look like? So I'm fascinated by how that's all going to go because really, 2007 moving to Lincoln and from that point forward with a brief detour to have to go back to my hometown while waiting for a job to open up. Lincoln's kind of been my community. And then with Lincoln, it's been discovering different pockets of it over time as I've moved around and lived in different places. I imagine Omaha, I hope to move a lot less, hopefully never again. But so that'll be interesting to sort of discover all of it, but we're looking forward to it.
Yeah. So generally speaking, since you have this huge Mike J. Schaefer fan club, it started with the beard years ago, but then your personality has won us over. Generally speaking, what part of town will we be able to see you maybe frequenting or experimenting with?
I am going to be in the Bermuda Triangle of Northwest Omaha, South Bennington, East Elkhorn. That's where I will dwell.
That's my old stomping grounds. I was gonna say that's
Yeah.
the DB's neck of the woods over there.
Yeah, and then you like the Jeffersons. You moved on up over to that.
Nope.
That
Just
fancy district.
just out. I just moved out. I'm still, as a guy born and raised, aside from spending 7-8 years trying to play a sport, I'm still trying to figure out everything south of L Street. Like every day is a new adventure because I have never lived south of Maple when I've been in Omaha. I've been on Maple, I've been on Fort, I've been on State Street, I've been on Ida. So I'm like, oh, I didn't know that was over there. That's cool. You know, sometimes I Google and I'm like, I didn't know that place was there. So listen, it's like choose your own adventure, except you don't only get 2 endings. There's multiple.
See, what fascinates me is as a tourist to Omaha for many years, prior to dating and then eventually getting married to Shelby, I was never north of Maple. I was rarely ever north of Dodge. So it was like discovering a whole new world when we started dating. It's like, oh, there's people that live over here, and they seem somewhat genuinely normal.
I spent a good chunk of my adult life living in a place where my dad and I used to travel when we would go out to the dump. That it was like 120th and 132nd on State. Now there's like Davis Middle School. This is my old house. It's like
I basically drive by that area every time I'm visiting you.
Right.
So
That used to be a dump. There was nothing out there. And my dad would say on Sundays, hey, we've got such and such. Let's go out for a drive. And it was like, oh, I don't want to go way out there. I wonder if I could toss it in that big hill. You know, so it's like, yeah, things change. One thing you better budget for is a better restaurant experience. Significantly better places to eat in Omaha than in Lincoln. Just saying.
Yeah, I mean, with an 18-month-old, I'm sure we'll get to experience a lot of those. So
it's all right.
He's definitely great at letting us go out and just have a nice, enjoyable meal. Never have any issues.
Listen, I used to think like that too, and I got one now that likes chicken tikka masala and sushi. So don't let the slow start fool you. Things can change in a hurry.
The bougie Bennings, is that what we're going to have to start?
Oh yeah. You want to know where to go? Ask Zoe about where good sushi is. And Crab Rangoon. She has critiqued it.
Oh, wow.
Too fishy. Corners are too crunchy. Yeah, she's got you.
Wow.
All right, let's talk sports, Mike J. Real quick, so people don't get mad, because we got to get you out of here early because you're visiting practice. Do you enjoy the Justin Jefferson critiquing J.J. McCarthy, Minnesota Viking preseason experience? I think you better hop on board.
I will withhold judgment until we get into the season. They got a brutal schedule.
It is horrible.
It's a brutal schedule.
You get the AFC North.
I'm somewhat baffled every time I read through like the NFL national writers and they're like rating rosters, and Minnesota's roster to me. And some of this is you have to sort of understand what Brian Flores can do for defensive players that maybe otherwise don't seem that exciting. But when people tell me the Green Bay, and Michael Severe did this the other day, people tell me how excited they are about the Green Bay Packers defense, and it's like, really? Like the same defense Sam Darnold.
Oh, you guys owned them. Oh, I get. I knew you were gonna say that.
Kevin O'Connell has just ripped it to shreds literally every time, unless he's had to start Jaron Hall in a game.
I get it, but I do think they're good. I don't often agree with.
I think they're
Green Bay's
good.
defensively is good, but you're right. You guys have chopped them up.
I think they're good, but it's sort of like, how many years do we have to hear that they have the youngest roster in the NFL? Like, congratulations. Is someone going to make an interception or make a play on the ball over here? Or, good Lord. I don't have to – I don't understand it. It's like, let's just put them in the Super Bowl already. We did this last year with the Lions, and they're very good too. But now it's just like the trendy sort of, I don't want to pick these teams. The Packers. That's who's going to win the Super Bowl. Okay. All right. Just set your money on fire if you're going to make that bet.
All right, Schaefer, let's get you to Nebraska here for a little bit. PB and I were actually talking about something kind of off air and haven't gotten to it on air yet, so I want to get your take on it. You know, I tend to look at where guys that have left Nebraska end up, what they look like on other rosters, where they're expected to play, if they're expected to play. And as you look around the country and you see some of these guys, you know, whether it's Butler or, you know,
James Williams
down at Florida State. You've got Malachi Coleman up in Minnesota, whoever, right? And you're looking, and they're all in different situations. But when you look at some of these guys that are expected to contribute to other power conference teams and potentially quality power conference teams, and then you look at Nebraska's roster and the places that those guys left, and you look at least for me, I go, well, I don't know that they're necessarily, not that they wouldn't have been useful, but I don't know that I'm going to miss them. Like, I guess, how do you process that when you're looking at Nebraska's ability to evaluate talent and recruit and build up depth?
Well, I think you have to at least acknowledge every situation's a little bit different. The reason that Jamari Butler and Malachi Coleman left aren't the same thing. You know, BC and I talk about this quite a bit. And like Prince Will Umanmielen, for example. I think nationally, when he left Lincoln, there was a feeling like, oh, wow, Nebraska just lost an incredible talent. There's no way they can replace that. And yet internally, it wouldn't shock me if Nebraska felt better about what Willis McGahee was doing for them last year than what Prince Will was. And so, you know, sometimes it's the people who see the roster every day relative to the guys that are trying to rank transfer portal players, which is a really hard endeavor. You know, we think high school recruiting is hard. We think junior college recruiting rankings are hard. Like, transfer portal rankings is very, very far from an exact science. And so sometimes it's just like a guy leaves and it's like, yeah, he's talented. Like, I think he's good. But I don't know that Nebraska lost someone that they couldn't replace there. And so I just use Prince Will as an example, and I don't mean anything offensive there. The one guy where I kind of look at it like it'd be really nice if you had him, but I'm sort of fascinated because when I searched his name the other day just to see, he didn't make Bruce Feldman's top 100 list. He hasn't been mentioned a whole lot on Twitter. Jamari Butler. Like,
is going to play a significant role in Baton Rouge.
Yeah, like, I'm just sort of like fascinated by this. And he's the guy that, and I've always kind of been a Jamari Butler guy. I like his personality. I like him. I think you could make an argument he was Nebraska's best defensive player against the best team that they played in Ohio State. Like, we know he can be disruptive. He had a weird year, I think, because of injuries. That's the sort of one guy where it's like, man, if they had him, that would be really nice with this defensive setup.
The opposite Ravi take.
Yeah, I mean, it's just that's sort of where I'm at with it. But I only know Nebraska version of Jamari Butler. I don't know how things are going down at LSU. I think they could have used the James Williams. They could have used some of these guys. But ultimately, I don't know that there was any loss that it was, you know, unsustainable. The one with Butler is it'd be nice to have a veteran presence along that defensive line that's played actual snaps. You know, and they've got guys that have played some snaps, but they don't really have, you know, the sheer veteran leader in that room that maybe you would love to have. Now, quite frankly, they could completely, you know, not need that, and it could go completely well for him. But I would have loved to have seen Jamari Butler finish his career out at Nebraska.
Schaefer, let me ask you about, so if you're talking about developing situations for Nebraska, from today, when you're going to go put eyeballs on it, to where they may be in week 4 or 5, who maybe changes the most or is the quickest to answer some of the questions that you may have about the group fall camp?
So I think to do this exercise, you have to look at the positions where there's a fair amount of depth and a fair amount of opportunity.
Okay.
I think that we could see, you know, Nebraska has a bunch of veteran defensive backs, but I don't know that it's a guarantee that these guys are going to hang on to all of the reps and all of the opportunity as we get into Big Ten play. And so, you know, who that is will remain to be seen. But when you have some of these younger guys that are pushing, eventually you're going to try to get them on the field, whether that's because of injury or whether that's because of performance. So I look at defensive back as a room where it could look different in the middle of the season than it does at the start. Offensive line, same thing, because I think they have quite a few options that, you know, if someone isn't working out great for you, you can try something there. And so, and the opposite is true, right? Like with the offensive line, they may just hit on it right away. You may have your starting five, and if they're healthy, they're just your starting five for as long as they're healthy. I mean, so it sort of works both ways there. But then there's the positions, like I'm not expecting, you know, barring injury, any change at running back or at quarterback, or, you know, even sort of who the top group is along the defensive line. Like, you know, that's an area where maybe someone or another has a strong performance that raises into the equation. But a lot of it for me is just the heavier depth spots, the defensive back and offensive line. I think Nebraska could potentially make some moves there or rotate guys if there's some young players that are really giving them a reason to put them in. I don't think this staff will hesitate to play someone younger, even if it comes at the expense of someone who started for multiple years. They know they need to win football games.
You know what's
it's not this sort of system where it's like, okay, this guy's put in all his time, now it's his time to get to do it. It doesn't work that way.
God, it's interesting too, because you look at like Big Ten media days, you look at like the Big Ten camp. To your point, the assumption is made that the veteran presence in the secondary is the strength, yet that's the first group that you just talked about looking at. And you're probably not alone. Sam intimated it, that's the group that you may see change the quickest. Does that mesh with you? And if it does, what do you think it says?
Well, I think they have a lot of guys that they like. And Addison Williams, I asked him last week, what is it that you're going to use to try to pare this down? And he kind of gave his criteria and a lot of his communication and consistency. And then he kind of gave a longer sort of viewpoint on the idea of being able to make plays. Like, they need guys that can make plays. If you're competent back there, that's great. But competent may not win you the football game. You kind of need a guy who knows when to make the right gamble at the right time and come away with the football, or can punch that ball out before the receiver can fully secure it, or can come up and make a tackle in the hole and shows intuition and instincts while doing it. I mean, these are it sounds simple when we talk about it, but just because you have a wealth of snaps doesn't mean that you have the ability to necessarily do that. I go to the USC game and I look at what happened with, a Malcolm Hartzog, and I don't want to just pick on him because I feel like he gets talked about unfairly, negatively too much for a guy who has made plays throughout his career. But if someone struggles like that in 2025, my expectation is they have enough depth in the defensive back room that someone else should be able to come in for Malcolm Hartzog. You shouldn't have situations where a guy struggles like that through the course of the game and there's nobody else to go to. They have the bodies back there. And so, some of it is going to be on Williams and Butler and Snow. How quick is too quick of a hook? If a guy makes a mistake or he makes a couple mistakes, do you let him continue to play through it? Or do you say, all right, we got Donovan Jones. All right, we got Caleb Benning. All right, we got Amari Sanders. All right, we've got Jeremiah Charles. All right, we've got Jameer Khan. I mean, none of those guys I expect to be the starter in Arrowhead. All of those guys I expect to play at some point. And for them to be able to play, they're going to have to take somebody's job.
Schaefer, I wonder, it's interesting.
He got me motivated. Okay, Schaefer.
Let's go. Take somebody's job. No, it's interesting you brought up Hartzog, because I was actually talking about him earlier today. And I do wonder, like, Hartzog's a really interesting guy because
You better leave my guy alone.
No, I actually defended him. I think that Hartzog's super interesting because I think he's one of the guys that we end up criticizing a lot because we don't like how it looks. I also think he's one of the guys that's willing to put himself in positions that may not be optimal for him because that's what the team needs in that moment. And understanding, kind of like what Coach Rhule talked about over the weekend, where he's like, oh, some guys will be like, oh, I don't want to play right tackle. I don't want to look stupid or be in a spot where I could mess up. Whereas, he used Mosey as an example, but I think Hartzog fits this as well, where I think a lot of the times, and this goes to myself included, sometimes we don't always appreciate what we're watching with a guy in the secondary where he's maybe doing something he's not normally asked to do. Like, how much of that do you think, I guess to your point about depth, I'm hoping guys aren't forced to do that this year, where you've got guys that are equipped for those positions instead of having to ask a guy to compromise himself.
Yeah, I mean, I think the belief we want to have is you have all this depth, so you should be able to slide people into roles. So if you do have a situation where someone needs to come in, then they can do it, and you're not putting them in a bad spot. And I agree. I mean, Malcolm Hartzog has had to play safety, he's had to play boundary corner, he's played nickel, he's done all of these different things. And again, I don't want to just use him exclusively as an example. I mean, we can use Isaac Gifford from last year as somebody where there was just too often moments where he would not be in the right spot, and yet Nebraska, it felt like, just had to play through it with him. And when you are trying to win games, when you're trying to maximize your roster, when you're trying to show to the recruiting world that you're willing to put young guys in situations, I think you have to take that risk. And if you have the depth and you don't recruit 7,000 defensive backs and bring in 2,000 of them and then claim that you can't go to another guy on the roster if someone keeps making mistakes. So, at some point, like, the proof needs to be in the pudding of their evaluation and their development. I guess to come all the way back around to it, like, they are building these guys up to put them into game situations. If they think they're ready, they have to be willing to fire that bullet when the time comes. Or we're just going to sit here and talk about veterans who make the same mistakes over and over. What did we do all of last year when dissecting Nebraska's defensive backfield? I mean, we talked about their inability to keep their eyes in the right place, against play action, their run fits, all of these different things. You can't have that again this year. You really can't.
You know what's interesting? I'm just listening and I'm soaking it all in. And maybe I'm misremembering, Schaefer, but help me. Didn't we go through a stretch at the tail end of last year and in the offseason where we found ourselves questioning Coach Cooper's evals? We got all these DBs, and where are these guys? And maybe I'm misremembering the narrative, and I know you'll correct me, but it seems like that. And now we're to the point where Donovan Jones and Caleb Benning and Rex Guthrie and Tanner Turch and Braylon, like, these guys are showing up. So is it us being impatient? Did I misremember the narrative? Coop was actually pretty good at what he's doing, and they're good at developing. Like, where do you kind of land the plane as I'm kind of listening to this last 7-8 minutes about the defensive backs?
Yeah, I think all of that can be true.
Was that, am I misremembering, or was that a thing with Coop?
I don't think you are.
Okay,
I think a lot of it was they have legitimately 28 defensive backs on scholarship. What the hell is happening? I think some of it was that.
Okay.
And, the other thing we have to remember with the defensive back room is that they've gone through a series of coaches. They've had 4 different position coaches in the last 4 years. There's no other position like that on Nebraska's roster.
Yeah, because I think Coop can evaluate like
John
a mother.
Butler. Yeah, no, I think there's a reason that Matt Rhule regarded him in the way that he did. I think there's a reason that when Evan Cooper had his introductory press conference, he talked about his dream wasn't being a coach. It was being Mel Kiper Jr. This is a guy who clearly loves that aspect of it. The idea of it, though, is collecting that talent, feeling good about what you developed. Then are they going to be able to come into a game for a veteran who has made repeated mistakes? That's the next step.
Yeah.
And so, and we're going to see, the other thing is, we get caught up in talking about them playing as starters or whatever. Some of these guys are going to come in as rotational people throughout the games. Some of these guys are going to make their bones on special teams in 2025. They are going to be special teams aces, and then they're going to get their real opportunity in the defensive backfield in 2026. That's just, guys have to carve out what their roles are. And I don't mean to diminish whatever Evan Cooper has done in terms of stocking that defensive backfield room. It's more so to say that Nebraska, I think, has to be willing to play some of those younger guys.
I hear you.
And the fan base and the media have to be willing to accept some mistakes that happen if we're also going to be crotchety over veterans who make the same mistakes like we were last year. I mean, like you can't have it both ways. You can't want someone that has a wealth of experience, but then be upset if they make a mistake, but then not want to have a younger player who also might make a mistake. Like that's just, Jeremiah Charles got to start against UCLA, and it wasn't a good game. But that was still really valuable for Jeremiah Charles, who Nebraska might need.
Yep,
in 2025 to start a game.
He'd tell you today how valuable that game was, man. That's a great point, right? You got to go. It's what Coach Rhule talks about, right? Going through the struggle a little bit, come out of the back end.
Yeah, I mean, he said there's pain that you have to have, and sometimes you have to fail and learn why you failed, and try to build yourself out of it. And then hope that, when you're put in the same situation, you can recall what it is that you did wrong and not do that again. I mean, that's the goal. I don't know how feasible or how likely that is to happen every single time, but it's certainly the goal.
That's our guy, Mike Schaefer, Husker 24/7. Schaefer, we'll let you go so you can get to practice. We appreciate the time as always. I'm glad you and DB finally got to talk.
Hey, give me some good. Well, text.
Yeah.
I was killing him over text. I apologize. I'm back now, though, buddy.
I didn't even get a chance to mention this is the first time I've actually talked to you in like a month and a half. So, and then when you had the tweet that went out this morning and it was Austin Jacobsen and Damon Benning, I was like, man, I'm never going to get the dream team all together.
Now listen, man, I never drove so fast to get here as to not miss the 9 o'clock seg with Mike J, man.
All right, guys, take care.
Appreciate it.
We'll see you, Schaefer. That's Mike Schaefer, Husker 24/7.
Don't you find that interesting?
So I want to get on that because I think there's.
I'm really processing real time, right?
know.
So it's like it's fresh.
I think there's a couple things in there though, and Schaefer brought up an interesting thing about our willingness to watch mistakes.
Okay, we'll talk about it.
So we'll get to that coming up next. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla. It's Hurrdat Sports Live.
I didn't really know how that worked here, but it's a player vote award, which makes it even more special. I think that made it mean even more to Rebecca. And coaches aren't allowed to be in summer lifts, so I hadn't seen her or even heard from the strength coach, who was doing better, who, wasn't. And I just knew this preseason she was at another level. And I think her competitive spirit is where it needs to be, and to see that get rewarded, and of course it's a lifting award, but still a vote, to see that get awarded by her teammates is pretty special. And this means a lot to her. And her senior year, I know she wants this to be her best year, and just as a player but also as a teammate. So I'm really excited for her. I knew she was going to be very, very excited about that.
Sticking with Rebecca, just how did you feel that she played that?
I thought she was a player of the game, and we were kind of joking in the locker room. She had the most attempts. That's because we overpassed and overdug so many balls. But I'm like, kudos for her for killing all those. So I just thought she was super aggressive. She was communicating at the end. I think everybody was tired and like, oh, maybe it's time to go home. And, the only person I could hear on the court was Rebecca. And so just impressive day for her.
I think an eagerness to learn and, how they can support the room and be a benefit to the team. I think that's really a compliment to them. I don't think there's any egos in the room. They understand that, again, the fluidity and the reps and the rotation is part of our situation to let them showcase what they can do. So they've been really, really complimentary of each other, pushing each other, challenging each other, and then, and there's a friendship building within the room. So it's really a positive culture, I think, right now. Yeah, I think it's been great. I mean, it's ideal as far as, reinforcing the standard is the standard. It doesn't matter if Dylan's in there or the fourth quarterback's in there, right? The standard is you perform and you execute like the expectation is that everybody's on the field has. So I think that's ideal in that situation, and everybody understands that, takes that serious. And once they're in there, whether you get 1 or 2 reps, you need to compete at a high level.
Imagine your first dream home and the feeling of walking inside for the first time. With Centrist Federal Credit Union's First Time Home Buyers program, you are at the doorstep of bringing your vision to life. Welcome home. From your neighborhood mortgage experts, Centrist Federal Credit Union. We are where you are.
Yeah, she's just been a really big role model for all of us. I think coming in as a freshman, I had a lot of questions in the weight room, in the gym, and she was really good at just bringing me in and just teaching me all the little things. And she has the biggest work ethic ever, and so it's very fun to look up to her.
What was it like for you, first match out there in a Husky uniform, sold out venue?
It was so exciting. I mean, dreaming of it and thinking about what it's going to be whenever I walk in is a lot different than actually doing it. And walking in and just seeing everything filled up, I was wow, this is amazing. So it was so fun.
Okay, how did you feel after first performance here?
Amazing. Are you kidding? I specifically remember a gap shot you had when I was diving in, or AJ, one of the middles was diving in, and you recognized it and you cut it back, and that was something that we haven't really been working on, and you saw and you went for it. I was very proud of her. Yeah, very mature swing.
You're listening to Hurrdat Sports Live.
Welcome back, Hurrdat Sports Live. That's DBM Ravi Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill. Good stuff there from our friend Mike J. Schaefer from Husker 24/7. There were a couple things that
certainly got you thinking.
It caught my interest a little bit when we're talking about, we get frustrated with the mistakes. And this is the thing, I'm sure you remember last year, I was getting on Gifford and Singleton specifically about.
Everybody did. It was popular. Those were the three guys that got it the most.
Yeah. But my issue was hey, just let me see some of the younger guys, right? Let me see what some of the younger guys did. And I think because we didn't see some of those younger guys.
That's what drew the ire of Cooper.
Yeah, people assumed, did we miss on those evals? Where
I'll entertain that.
I think that's what the assumption was. My assumption was one of two things. Either A, weren't quite ready yet. This is a developmental program, so
he wasn't ready yet.
So a couple guys, it might take guys a little bit longer.
It's comedic stand-up
when you're evaluating guys. My second thing was, and I think this is what it actually was. I think Coach Rhule wanted the older guys to bear the burden of the bowl game so that the younger guys could achieve more, right? If you start throwing younger guys in there and having the burden of the bowl game on the younger guys, then A, you bail out the older guys, but B, now it becomes the younger guys' burden, and they can't necessarily.
It's not their burden to bear.
Yes. They didn't put them in this situation, right? So that's where I landed.
I'll rock with that.
The young guys. But here's my question, right? Because me personally, I would rather watch young guys make mistakes knowing that they're growing through it rather than old guys make mistakes that I think that's just who they are. Personally. I don't know if everyone views things that way. So when Schaefer talked about how we view watching young versus old guys make mistakes, it really kind of perked my ears up a little bit because I am curious how other people process it. For me, I'll take my chances with the young guy, let him grow through it, and I'll get better on the back end.
You uttered the famous line last week or not too long ago, and I literally wanted to choke you. When I said, oh, man, I used to be so good at managing my kids, like the plight and stepping back and whatever versus now or whatever. And you're like, the stakes are higher. I mean, just real prickish bottom line, right? So in the same vein is my response to what you're saying. Because I don't think you're wrong. But what I do think is this: at what cost?
Sure. That's the fair question.
At what cost are you willing to have unfold what you want to have unfold?
That's a totally fair
Right?
question.
So, because the stakes are pretty high.
Yeah. And if you're talking about, hey, we either make a bowl game for the first time in 8 years or we don't.
That's
I totally understand that. And so if you're going to say, hey, if your answer to me is, hey, I know.
Is this last year or this year?
Last year.
Okay.
Last year. If you're saying to me, hey.
Because you remember our conversations, and I was adamant about this. I'm like, they're good enough defensively where you don't throw in the towel and say, and that's a because I don't want to give an extreme.
Yeah.
They were good enough defensively where you didn't feel compelled.
You didn't want to take the risk.
To roll the dice.
Yeah. You didn't.
They were good enough defensively where you didn't feel compelled to roll the dice. You knew you weren't where you wanted to be.
But you weren't bad enough. You felt like you had to scrap it.
So and I said that
which I totally understand.
Which was even hard for me because I'm like, in my head, this is what I would say at school.
Mm-hmm.
An older guy making mistakes, a younger guy making the mistakes. I'm immediately looking at upside.
Mm-hmm. The younger guy.
Not even how long I have them.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking upside because
like what
the
comes
general
with the mistakes?
Yes. Because the general consensus is if you're kind of lazy in the eval you'll hear this. Well, if I have a
freshman that's doing this and a junior that's doing
they'll
this,
take the young guy. They'll take the young guy.
Grow. Yeah. But that takes out, I think this is what you're saying. It takes out the older guy makes mistakes, but he also make these plays.
Yeah.
And the younger guy make these plays that go along with his mistakes.
It's always what coaches think. But
it's the Russell Westbrook problem.
But
right?
but people they in just casual conversation,
you assume the younger guy has more upside.
Yeah, it's like investing in sales,
which maybe long term.
You ever see managers invest in sales reps?
Mm-hmm.
Right? At some point they think, okay, I got this young up and comer, a little green, bucks the trend, talks a little reckless, but man, the potential.
Mm-hmm.
Or, the steady Eddie older guy that's super high on the base salary payroll, he may occasionally bag the elephant, or she. So it's like, I got to think upside.
Mm-hmm.
It's not necessarily old versus young.
Yeah.
It's what comes with that. And that's how you have to think as a coach, because it still ultimately boils down to trust.
Yeah.
We make it about talent because it's easy because we don't have any skin in the game.
So that was the next thing I was going to say, right?
Right? We don't have any skin in the game.
Is sometimes it depends on, like, if you have an older guy and you know which mistakes he's going to make, sometimes you can work around that.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas if you have a younger guy and
you introduce another variable.
Yeah, it's sort of a
it's 100% what it is.
It's sort of a crapshoot. He might make a mistake in this.
You're trying to limit the variable.
Yes.
That's absolutely how people think. So even as hard as it was for me, but I mean, maybe not super hard, because at the end of the day, man, I'm not gonna hold you. Like Caleb wasn't ready either.
Yeah.
So I want to see that.
Right.
Right. I'm not like, hey, they just gave up a 41-yard seam route. Shoot, man, Benning on the bus. Get over the top, man. Slow to go. Like, I don't want to be talking.
Yeah.
Drive home and think, man, if we're gonna mess up, can we move the ball?
So that's
so there is dynamic. Well, I'm just helping you, giving you the cheat codes on how to introduce other variables that you may not be thinking about until now, that'll give you some peace. Because I think that's how quality coaches teach. I
agree.
We're just having this. I just had this conversation post practice. I got a senior who's pretty gifted, big, strong kid. Hasn't played a ton, coming off a couple of injuries. And I said, hey, I really would like to get such and such ready immediately. Oh, he's a senior. And?
Yeah.
Like, he can help us. He's different than what we have. And at what cost is it to develop the younger guy with more years that makes the same mistakes? So immediately I have to process in my head upside and still staying in the moment. Like, that's the missing piece. And that's why sometimes you allow fans to fan But you do have to keep in perspective. You can't fight every battle with perception because they're afforded the luxury of just they don't have to think big picture. They can just look at something, decide whether they like it or not, and then say what you should do. They don't have to weigh any extenuating circumstances or outside factors. They don't.
So I actually
doesn't make them wrong.
Right.
They just don't have enough information.
So, and I don't know if all fans process this way, so I'm just speaking for myself. I actually think for me I think too much big picture sometimes when I'm thinking about a young guy versus an old guy.
Give me an example.
So if I'm looking at, hey, let's go back to the secondary from last year, and I'm like, hey, let's throw this guy out there because I think his upside long term is higher. In his upside in this game may not be, right? A coach is thinking about his upside in this game
because you have to
matchup.
You need
because you're trying to win today.
You need the immediate result. Yeah,
because
you're
trying to win
results.
today. Where I'm sitting here and I go, okay, I can, whether I'm right or wrong, I can sit here and be like, okay, I mean, we're probably not covering Jeremiah Smith well. Just an example, whatever. Mm-hmm. We're probably not covering Jeremiah Smith well, whether it's a fifth-year guy or a first-year guy. So let me see a guy that I think long-term is going to be better for the program.
Yeah, I've seen it happen twice in recent years, pay dividends at the high school level.
Mm-hmm.
I remember clearly Gretna going with the decision to play Flores young.
I know one of them.
Young.
Yeah.
Right? Didn't start the season. They had the quarterback battle.
Mm-hmm.
Coach Kale, they're like, forget it. Like, we're going to go young. Now, you took it on the chin in a few.
Yeah.
But he's projecting long-term.
Yeah.
The other one that really panned out,
Anthony Rizek.
Not.
Oh,
that's a good one.
Because he wasn't the guy either as a sophomore.
That's a good one.
And that panned out pretty well.
But I think people could see his.
Was he better at the moment was he better?
The ceiling was clearly higher.
Right. But in that moment, he wasn't better.
No.
Right?
No.
So that's kind of my.
I agree.
That's my example.
I agree.
Right.
I agree.
When
I agree.
He took over the job as a sophomore. The senior, whose name I forget, who was the other quarterback?
Oh, my man, sweet swinging, Colby Brown.
Colby Brown. Right. He was better in that.
That
moment.
was a very hard. People will look back at it now and they go, "Oh, it was an easy decision."
No, there's a lot of disagreement.
Really, man, because we were good enough to where
Colby probably could have gotten you pretty close to where you wanted to go.
And I'm sure that's how his parents felt.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Like, was this really necessary?
It's like, oh, Colby could have lost in the state championship game too.
I'll give
right?
you. Yeah, I'll give you another one. Yeah. That's actually the way to look at it. Yeah.
It's like, because that's how I looked at it last year with Nebraska.
Yeah,
it's like, well, I mean, Amari Sanders could have given up that touchdown too.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
At least give me the experience. Let me get that's the problem of playing the results game, which is what fans do.
And I remember Coach Lamonji. I think the parents and the immediacy at Burke was he sacrificed the season to play Hickman and Henrich and those guys young. Mm-hmm. Like they were really bad that year.
And it worked out.
But
because they won a state title.
Right? It eventually worked out.
But
you had to go through that whole long season in the meantime.
And
I don't know at the collegiate level with Tupac, right? All eyes on me.
Mm-hmm.
Are you afforded the grace to know that you're playing the long game? There's too many there's just too many guys.
The most ironic part of this?
Go ahead, Alanis.
There is a little too ironic. There is one guy that absolutely.
It's like a traffic jam when you're already late. A no smoking sign on your cigarette break. It's like 10,000 spoons.
When all you need is a knife.
Yeah. It's like meeting the man of your dreams.
And then his beautiful wife.
Isn't it ironic? Cab, taxi. Go ahead.
The one guy who absolutely could have afforded to play the long game, panicked and didn't.
I know.
And I'm not even doing it as like a hater or whatever. If there was one person in the history of modern college football that was going to be given enough time,
this coach, he battled his own competitive demons too.
Yes. And I'm talking about Scott Frost. Like we've talked about this before. He's told you this before, and I'm not even saying this is like a hater or whatever. He absolutely.
And I'm not saying it to defend him, right? Because you could look at it either way.
This is like in modern NCAA history, probably no one was going to get more of a runway than Scott Frost at Nebraska. I truly believe that. And he, like you said, he was battling his own competitive demons and tried to win right away rather than try to win the right way. And now, were there other issues and whatever? Okay. But to me, that's the first step he took wrong.
That's why I kind of appreciated the Stones. And I know we got a 45, right? So Shane, you don't even have to take a break. We can just get right to it. But that's why self-awareness is so important, right? That's why it's important for Coach Rhule to say, hey, this is kind of what you get with me.
Yeah.
Like he set the tone.
Absolutely.
Like it was going to be a slow burn.
Yeah. It's like, hey, if I knew how to do it faster, I would. That's a quote. That's a direct quote from Matt Rhule. If I knew how to do it faster, I would.
Again, it's like where you get the googly gaga guys. Like, I think I love him because I asked this, Shane, correct me if I'm wrong. I asked this of Riley. I asked it of Frost. I asked it of, hey, just shoot us straight.
Mm-hmm. We can handle it.
Be vulnerable and just say what the blueprint is.
Mm-hmm. We can handle it if we know where we're going.
But it's hard.
It is. I get that.
Because you don't want to chase ghosts in a position of leadership and validate the empty can.
Mm-hmm.
But if you set the expectation of what the vision is, you get a little grace.
You can expand on this as much as you want. We don't have a guest here.
Oh, why did I think we had a 45?
I was 8:45. We had Mike.
I still keep thinking old records. Shane, you want to know the first 45 I bought?
Yeah, I think it's good.
What do you got?
Not a cold.
What would you guess the first 45 is that I bought?
Did you have the little spindle for it?
You got to give me.
Yeah.
You got to give me like an era.
How about if I give you a genre?
Okay.
I want to say Michael Jackson something.
You're in the neighborhood pre-vitiligo. Oh, allegedly.
Jackson 5?
Meaning still light skin.
Oh, okay.
Like a light skinned Michael Jackson with the brown eyes.
He's a little too light skinned, Got
this is about similar, but
okay.
Pre-vitiligo.
Similar genre?
Correct.
Ooh, I'm not coming up.
This is what it sounds like when doves cry.
Prince.
Oh, Prince.
Correct.
That is in the same neighborhood. I should have got that.
The first 45 that I bought with my own hard-earned, hop out of my sister's white Nissan truck, deliver papers on a Sunday morning, gave it to me in a commercial federal plastic Ziploc baggie, $6 a week. Your boy bought Prince.
You were delivering newspapers for $6 a week?
Yeah, we would bag and tag them. They'd bring them to us in these big boxes, and we'd sit down there at like 3:45 on the weekend, and all the little frayed edges would get all over the carpet, and we were like, we got to vacuum before Mom and Dad get up. And we'd body bag and toe tag them, and we'd put them in the truck, and she'd drive by real slow, and I'd be like,
working on that arm. Thing.
Mine was Pink Floyd, Another Brick in the Wall.
I don't really know. Do I know that song?
Oh, yeah, I'm sure you do.
Yeah. I wasn't a big Pink Floyd guy. But maybe I heard it on Humbug.
We don't need no education. Teacher, leave those kids alone. Yeah.
Hey, teacher, leave them kids alone. That was Pink Floyd?
Yeah.
That is correct.
Dang, today years old.
Education.
I was such a prick. I was like probably cheering for that.
That school's
My
out
dad
for
was
summer,
in,
right?
like education. What year was that, Shane?
I didn't get it until like mid-'80s or whatever.
Yeah, that's me.
When did that come out?
I mean, it came out in like out in late 70s.
Embarrassing. My sister would call me out because she's well aware. Orchestral maneuvers in the dark. Shane, what is that long for?
That's the OMD.
OMD.
Yeah.
I had an OMD 45.
Yeah.
I also had a Tears for Fears 45.
So I had some.
Sowing the Seeds of Love.
I had some cassette tapes. That was my.
This is my 4-leaf clover. I wanna little man. Funny how time flies. We were like, nerd. Yep. And also there was a little ditty about Jack and Diane.
Little ditty.
Yep.
I know that one.
I bought, who's the guy with the connected eyebrows? And he had like
Anthony Davis.
the little carefree curl. It was boxed.
Like Rico?
I'll be sure. How about Albie Shore 45?
Oh, Albie.
Yeah. I was a big Albie Shore guy. Actually, I blame my sister. I didn't probably want to like him. She's like, he's so good looking.
In hindsight,
I don't even know why we're talking about this.
didn't work.
You know what I think my first cassette was?
I had tons of cassettes.
I think because I had like a little Walkman or whatever,
Mhm.
right? I think it was the Space Jam soundtrack.
I know 2 cassettes that I wore the words off of.
Yeah.
Yes. One was Guy.
Okay.
Let's chill. Aaron Hall. And Keith Sweat.
Big Key Sweat guy.
Yeah.
Mine was Beastie Boys License Deal.
I had Beastie Boys. I'd say how my friends hurt my feelings in middle school.
Mm-mm.
So my buddy was Scobie, Chris Stargell, Cobbs, these guys. Of course, none of them look like me, right?
Yeah.
I'm like the Cocoa Puff and the bowl of milk.
These are
And there was a talent show at Morton.
Yeah.
And they did the Beastie Boys. And guess who was down with the clique but was not in the performance?
Mhm.
That was your boy.
Oh.
I was like, man, I could be a good Mike D. Wasn't that cool? And Stargell could play the drums. Like, they had worked the whole
Do you
thing.
command respect like Mike D?
I wasn't commanding Dookie back then. I was the odd man out. Fine, I'll go talk to my black friends.
Sorry. Chat's a little.
Is the chat out there?
Hot Danger says Lil Diddy means something different these days.
I know. John Cougar didn't know.
He didn't. That's not his fault.
Oh, man, was too busy working Diane. 2 American kids doing the best that they can.
You think she was a cougar?
He was just Mellencamp then, wasn't he?
John Cougar Mellencamp?
Yeah, John
Or just Mellencamp?
Yeah, John Cougar Mellencamp.
Think she was still looking for a football star? No.
No, good talk, Shane.
No.
My man is dumb
Just
as
a
a
little.
box of rocks.
Just a little ditty. Can she be looking for that?
I don't know, man. You lost my train of thought. I was on a roll, and you like a wet blanket.
Yeah, way to go, Shane. Come on, man.
My man blew out my match.
Yeah, I think it's good.
What are we doing?
I have
Might
one
exaggerated, puking a little bit.
Well, he had a bunch of mulligans he wanted to get back. Anyway.
We play in Kazakhstan.
Why pick that country,
I don't
though?
know, man. I have a lot of questions.
Pre or post, just letting the guys just go out and hammer Guinness, huh? That was cool.
If I got like a free, like just true serum interview,
It's Uzbekistan. It's
Was
not.
it- was it
There's
Uzbekistan?
Kazakhstan, and there's you. They're 2 different.
No, they're different countries. Did he say Kazakhstan or Uzbekistan?
I think he said the latter.
Okay, all right. If I had to ask, like if I got a sit down true serum interview with Scott Frost, one of the questions I'd ask would be like, why Uzbekistan?
Yeah, where'd you pick that
Like,
country
what is-
from?
Like, did you get that on like your word of the day? Like, what happened?
Can I ask you something before we have to reconvene tomorrow?
Yeah, absolutely.
What is it that, speaking of questions you'd ask, what is it that you want to know if let's say Coach Rhule's right?
Okay.
And say, hey, you're going to enjoy Phil when he gets here. He can't not tell you what he's thinking. What would you ask Philip about?
True serum?
Like Arizona State and why he got after us with pressure or what? No?
No, I'd probably keep it to this year.
Did he know Derek Rogers was going to be a bust in the league, but we were going to make him a lot of money?
I'd probably keep it to this year's team more than anything.
How did Mitchell Friedman get the nickname Fright Night?
No, I probably wouldn't do that.
Was Jake Plummer really that weird?
Yeah, he is. Have you seen him lately?
Doesn't mean he started out like that.
I think he comes by it naturally. Just like he comes by everything else now on a shroom farm.
How good was Fiore at tackle? What would you ask him?
I'd ask him about this year's team. I mean, it seems like you've got more demons to exercise with 96 tonight.
I just didn't
personally.
appreciate that's how he introduced himself to me.
So let's get over that.
You know what I wanted to say, but I didn't feel like I was not talking to Kenny.
Yeah.
I put Kenny, he had to go to his room.
Yeah.
I was not messing with left brain Kenny.
Yeah.
I was like,
You want to bring up 95?
do you know what I wanted to say?
Whatever.
Do you think I don't know who was coordinating that defense?
Kenny.
I'm well aware you kicked our tail.
Yeah.
Next.
Yeah.
But I didn't.
You could have.
I was like, hey, man, it's a pleasure to meet you.
Hey, you dap-
Fantastic, man. Love watching you teach, man.
Did you dap him up?
I said, hey, I know. You know what I also was going to say after that?
What's that?
Who taught you how to Zoom? Because I know you didn't know. Did you feel like you should move to Lincoln last year?
Yeah.
I didn't.
I think that's
shook his hand and kept it pushing.
I would ask him.
He's gonna be great. I hate to set the bar high, but I just have a feeling, man. He enjoys talking. He's a teacher. He's a good conversationalist.
I would ask him how close the top is to the middle of the defensive backs room.
Can we get? Are you gonna cram the DBs down my throat because it's personal?
No, because of what I told you before, that I think there's going to be a ton of movement back there. That's not everything's about you, man.
Was that the assertion? 1,
10.
10. How about 4? How about 7? And you waved me off.
That's my bad.
This dude is incredible. You didn't even ease your way back in.
Well, I missed it. I had a lot of built up.
Came back in full-fledged prick mode. Everything's about you, man. Look.
I'd ask him about how close the middle is to the top of the defensive back room.
Yeah, whatever. I forgot the question.
I would say, hey, I think there's going to be.
I mean, what a.
I think there's going to be a lot of movement back there. I think there's going to be a lot of jobs up for grabs.
Who else is with Coach Snow? I forget.
Eck, I think today.
Oh, Lord.
So it's going to be
Shane. Enjoy.
Get your chopping fingers ready, Shane.
Cutting up this presser. You thought Dannon was bad going for 35 minutes with one question.
He went 50.
I didn't say in
one
totality.
One question. You're right.
Look, you guys both remind me of those people that listen to respond and not to access the information. Let your boy finish.
Okay.
Okay, I'm done.
Not everything about you, man.
Hey, when you
can't
start
even recreate the prickishness.
I can't.
Like
When-
you just dismissive, like I was trash.
when you start a press conference saying, I don't have much to say, you know there's a crap load to say.
Okay, let's do something fun.
Yeah.
Right. Quick, like a snack or a drink. What's the longest amount of time somebody will take to answer one question tomorrow?
Tomorrow or today?
Today. I'm sorry.
With Eck and Snow?
Yep.
Oh, Eck. It's definitely Eck.
No, I didn't say who. The amount of time.
Oh, how long the single longest answer
The single
will be?
longest answer.
I'm going to go 2 minutes.
Shane, 2 minutes.
I'm going to say we're getting like a 4.5.
Wow.
God, I feel like that's a good one.
I'll even.
It's the closest without going over, or what? How are we doing this? Just the closest?
Let's just go closest.
I will take.
And that's just the response without their question, right?
Danny went 35 minutes with one question, right?
I think so. I mean, it was close to that. I don't know the exact number. It was close.
I'll take.
It's like half hour at least. Yeah.
Now Matt's gone like 4 or 5 minutes.
I know, but Ravi said 4.5.
I'll even tell you who I think is going to do it. I think it's going to be Eckler. I think Eckler's going to give you some random story about something. He's that guy can go on a little bit.
Okay.
Like
so,
he'll get himself on a tangent.
Because you waved me off, and everything's about you, man. I'm gonna say 5 minutes. So guess who ain't winning?
Unless I get it exactly.
I'll take 5 minutes.
Actually, if it's anywhere between 2 and 4, like if it's over 3:15, I still win.
Correct.
So I'm cool.
You have the smallest window though.
That's fine.
Yeah, I'm mad.
Why are you mad?
You see I'm pouting? You like the folding arms?
Why are you mad? Nobody can see your warrior wrestler anymore. You got.
I like that.
You can't fold your arms on him.
I told you I wore this for Joseph. It's not. I know it's not Husker wrestling, but it's
JD.
wrestling. Yeah, I'm going 5 minutes. Shane, I'm going to say this will be a very difficult presser to cut up.
Get those Edward Scissors hands going.
Oh, I can't wait.
I'm going to have to listen real time so I know what the questions are because you know how he likes to cut them up?
Yeah.
And if they're long, I have to go back and remember, like, okay,
What the question was?
what was actually asked?
Yeah. Because it matters. Context is important. People
This
forget that.
this should be a fantastic media day because there's access and you get two very good speakers.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff.
Yeah, don't miss tomorrow. Bells and whistles, 7 a.m.er.
That's our guy, DB. I'm Ravi Lulla. We will both be here
Am I your
tomorrow.
guy?
Always.
I can't tell.
That's my guy. Hurrdat Sports Live.
See you. Have a good day. Love you.